see if it'll go. I think it's going. Let's see. Maybe. And we are live. We are live. Hello. 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 I think we're coming through loud and clear. Let me check real quick. We are live. Hello. 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 Let's see. Let's check the chat. Can you guys hear us? Hello, 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 hello. Joe Bob, Dave, BBQ Network, can you guys hear us? Or can you hear me, I should say? Okay, you can hear. Okay, good. All right, cool. All right, we are loud and clear, and we are live with episode 3 of season 8 of The Sausage Factory. Tonight, we are watching and discussing Dangertainment. I mean, Halloween Resurrection. I'm your moderator, Pizzal, and joining me tonight, I've got a group of beautiful faces staring back at me. Joining me tonight, I have got Raiho Magnifico. What's up, Raiho? Well, that's kind of what I've been telling people, that Resurrection is not good, but it's once getting outside of the Halloween, of the Rob Zombie Halloween universe, is a good thing. Yeah, 2 back-to-back weeks of Rob Zombie's Halloween universe. There's not enough Purell in the world for me to feel clean again. What's funny is I pulled it out of this case for the first and last time to watch with you guys. So, yeah. Let me. I accidentally pushed a button. Okay, now we're back. Okay, also with me tonight, Stone Gasman. What's up, Stone? How you doing, man? I know, man. We are living it up this Halloween. Just Halloween commentaries left, right, and center. And we even have a special Halloween centric show planned for next week, but we'll discuss that at the end of tonight's show. So, yeah. Also with me tonight is B Movie Mike. What's up, B Movie Mike? How are you, man? Oh, okay. That's not very good. Let's see. We may have to. Okay, guys, say something, guys.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello?
I bet that did it.
Run, rabbit, run.
Can you guys hear us now? Or can you guys hear? I think you. Okay, good. Okay, we're good now. Okay, take 2. Hello and welcome to episode 3 of season 8 of The Sausage Factory. I am your moderator, Pizzal, and joining me on this chilly October night, I have got Raiho Magnifico. Raiho, how are you tonight, my friend?
Gee, I'm doing real good. Dangertainment. Let's watch this movie.
Let's do it, my friend. How are things in Canada? What's the weather like in Canada?
We had that nor'easter. I guess it was a sou'wester by the end of it. Come blow up from Maine, so we got or Boston, I think. So I got trees down. I got all kinds of stuff, but other than that, it's all right. My Halloween decorations were not destroyed.
Good.
So all is well.
Very good. Very good. Also with me tonight from New York City, where they make the best salsa in the world. Stone Gassman. What's up, Stone?
Known for their salsa.
Now I got to get a rope. Oh man. Well, we had a lot of wind this morning, and we had a lot of wind this afternoon, and I managed to avoid it all at work. So it finally managed to die down about a couple hours ago. So thankfully, we're not getting blasted with wind anymore.
Very cool. Stone, I know you went to a convention over the weekend. Tell us where it was and how was it?
Oh, it was my very first horror convention, the New Jersey Horror Con in Atlantic City. I took the bus down there on a Sunday for a few hours and got to meet some awesome people. I got to meet Diane Franklin from Last American Virgin, Amityville 2. Steve Guttenberg was supposed to be there, but I think he bailed out when he heard I was going to bring my Blu-ray copy of Can't Stop the Music. So unfortunately, unfortunately, he didn't stick around. But see, who else was there? Jason London, Christina Ricci was there on Saturday, along with Charlie Sheen, and Carmen Electra. And the only thing I said to Carmen Electra was, I think you're superlatively beautiful, and unfortunately, that's all I have to say. Have a great day.
Did she respond in any way to that compliment?
Yeah, she smiled and just said thank you.
Yeah, that was
pretty much kept it simple. Yeah,
that was nice of her. Yes,
indeed.
And so very first horror convention. It sounds like you had a positive experience. That's very cool.
Very, very positive.
Well, good. Very, very good to hear that. Also with me tonight, and I just realized I went in opposite order of take one, but B-Movie Mike. I think I went. I don't remember.
B-Movie Mike. That was the same order.
Okay. Good.
Hey, after what we do the past 2 weeks, all is forgiven, right? I mean, we survived. Just be happy we're still alive. But like I said, it's time to rinse the palate with some Dangertainment. And normally, I wouldn't hold this film in such high regard. But I think like everybody else, well, most of us anyway, this is the first time I've ever really been excited to watch this movie. It's not great, but compared to what we've witnessed, it's a hell of a lot better.
It's fucking Citizen Kane compared to that shit.
It's a breath of fresh air.
Yes.
But Mike, how have you been, man? You doing good?
I'm doing pretty good. Enjoying a nice chilly 85-degree weather. I think it almost hit 90 today.
Wow.
It's beautiful outside. I got to go out and enjoy it. And my favorite time of the year. Loving every minute of it. Did check out the new Creep Show episode that actually came out like last week, but I didn't get a chance to see it till last night.
Mm-hmm.
About the trick-or-treaters and the man in the suitcase. I'm enjoying it so far. All 3 episodes, 6 total vignettes, I guess. They've all been, varying degrees of good, but they've all been really good, and I've been really enjoying it. I've noticed in the comment sections on Shudder, not everybody really gets it. Maybe I don't know if because if you watch the original Creep Show, it's near and dear to my heart, but there are some people that don't like that either.
Right.
So if you don't like that, there's no way you're going to like this kind of thing, But so far, I think it's good stuff, and I'm looking forward to the next episode.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been really impressed with. I think there's only going to be 6 episodes, right? Does anybody? I think it's just 6 episodes this season.
I'm not sure.
I think I
know there's one. There's one tonight and one next week.
Start.
Okay. I think there may only be 6, but there might be more. I don't know. But yeah, like every week, at least one, like you said, It's like varying levels of good. There's not been a bad one. So that's really cool. And the one last week, All Hallows Eve, I freaking loved that. Like I saw,
That was
like
great.
yeah, like I saw the twist immediately, but I still just loved the story. And at the end of it, I mean, I literally just like threw my hand up in the air and I said, "This, they're trying to make me cry." And you know, they're doing a good job about it. Um, but yeah, if you're not watching Creep Show on Shudder, you are missing out. And what I would actually recommend right now is to not start now. Wait until Halloween night and just marathon them all on Halloween night.
Oh, okay.
That's a great idea, actually.
Yeah. Don't start now.
Great idea.
Wait
I
till
haven't
Halloween
watched them
night.
yet, and I was thinking I'd just
Me
get like a
neither.
free trial and binge them when they were all out.
Get your free trial and Halloween night marathon all those puppies, man.
And then, of course, Joe Bob's got another special coming out next week for Halloween on Shudder. He's going to do 3
Are
films.
they still just teasing the movies, or have they released the titles, or
I haven't heard what the titles are. I think they're teasing them.
they're just teasing them yet? Okay.
But the real attraction is Joe Bob, of course.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It definitely seemed like it was Halloween sequels. So I just don't know which one. It might be Halloween 3, which I think is a possibility. But
Well, that'd be cool.
I think Darcy's wanted that one for a while. It's kind of been like a kind of a gag or something. But yeah.
Also with me tonight, Lorne. What's up, Lorne? How you doing, man?
So you know how when you were young, you hurt yourself real bad, you had to go to the hospital, maybe have a surgery. It wasn't so fun then, but years later, it gave you something to talk about, and now you laugh. That will never be the case with the Rob Zombie Halloweens, but it is the case with this film tonight.
Okay.
Yeah,
Very nice.
we got a lot of wind. We got a lot of wind blowing outside, so hopefully the internet stays on, which has not been true for the entire day. So if I drop out, it is simply because the weather is conspiring against us.
Okay.
Okay.
I mentioned it earlier. I don't know if anybody could have heard me or not. But I'm gonna up the ante here. There will be a time in the future where I will watch Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 again. But this movie was taken out of its Blu-ray case for the first and last time tonight. So it'll go back
Wow.
it'll go back in the Blu-ray set. The Blu-ray set
On
will
the
go
shelf.
back on the shelf, and it'll never see the light of day again. Unless Busta Rhymes comes to a convention. And in which case, if he does, I'm going to take the disc out, I'm going to throw it in his face, and I'm going to walk away. So there
Trick or treat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm going to say. Also with me tonight is J. L. Stingray. What's up, Stingray? How you doing, man?
What's poppin', fellas?
Not too much. How are you?
I'm $1.99 poorer because of tonight.
Hey, man.
$1.99 you'll never get back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's money.
That's-
Money well
that's
spent.
that's what Amazon decides that this film is worth. I've got the Blu-ray, but that I've never put on. But I haven't seen this one since the theater either, guys. So this will be fun experience. Hopefully, more fun than the past 2 weeks.
Well, I know last week it was your birthday, and you spent your birthday with us watching Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Tomorrow is B-Movie Mike's birthday. So happy early birthday to B-Movie Mike.
It's actually Saturday. This is the movie,
Oh, sorry.
I think, that established that Michael Myers and I have the same birthday, October 19th.
So
So
there's
it's at
something-
least good for that purpose, I guess. I don't know if it's good for anything, but it's better. And you may watch Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 again, but I would watch this movie 5 times in a row before I ever watched that one again. So you enjoy. I mean, hey, go ahead.
Fair enough.
It's your brain. Abuse it however you wish. But no more for me, thank you. And Jay, I tried to watch. You were doing the Pocket Dimension, I think, last night.
Uh huh.
And I popped in at an awkward time. You guys were talking about bananas and anal rape.
That sounds on point.
That was an
Are you sure that
interesting live
wasn't
stream.
last week or the week before?
He was, yeah, that was a thing in Children of what is it? Children of
The
God.
corn. Oh,
That the Brazilian film. Yeah, that's what the woman
I-
tells one of her friends to when your man's giving it to you from behind, stick a banana in there in the other one.
ugh.
And
That was,
Very
that was
interesting
some good
live
advice, I
broadcast.
think.
And Stone, I don't know what Children of the Corn movie you saw, but the one I saw did not involve bananas and anuses. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Maybe corn.
There was a lot of corn, but that was it. That was it.
Maybe he saw the Pornhub version or something.
I think he did.
Children of the porn.
Children of the porn. Yeah.
That
Right
writes
next to,
itself, man.
Yeah.
Right next to my favorite porn film, Schindler's Fist.
But Mike, I don't think we've asked you this the past 2 weeks we've had you on. But what are you vaping? What flavors are you vaping?
Well, I'm still doing the old Jam Monster stuff.
Okay.
That's what I was going to guess.
Right. But then today I picked up something new. Cloud Nerds. All right. It's a peach blue raspberry. So that's the next thing I'm going to try. I try to switch it up every once in a while.
Interesting. Cool. And Stingray, did you do anything else for your birthday last week? Other than bathe?
I did this commentary on for the Sausage Factory, and then I just went home very depressed.
Burnt his
And,
clothes, took a shower.
Went to sleep.
Wow.
Mm.
Very cool. Very cool.
Fun times.
Yeah. Any plans for your birthday on Saturday, Mike?
I'll be working. I celebrated yesterday. I figured, yeah. When you get old, it's more like an achievement than it is something to celebrate. It's like, hey, I leveled up again. Cool. Let's see if I can make it to the next one.
Cool. Well, we were talking about birthdays. This movie, Halloween Resurrection, actually came out on my 22nd birthday.
Oh, wow.
So that was.
Is that how you spent your birthday?
No, actually, it was how I was going to spend my birthday, but something happened and I didn't get to watch the movie that day. And I'm kind of glad that I didn't. What'd you do on your birthday? I watched Busta Rhymes' Kung Fu Michael Myers.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
You need to change it. I watched Busta Rhymes, Kung Fu Michael Myers.
And also,
Emphasis.
and also with me tonight, Christian Hanna. What's up, Christian? How are you doing?
Hey, Piz, can you hear me okay? I got my mic set up.
Oh, yeah. You're coming through loud and clear.
Hey, what's
Mic
up? I'm
sounds
sorry.
crystal.
As usual, I'm late to the party, but it's kind of accustomed by this point, so.
No, man, it's all good. It's all good. You're here. How's the Halloween season treating you so far?
It's good, man. I've actually got a stack of movies. I'll share real quick. I'll be quick. These are the movies I got to watch. I'm doing The Stand right now. So far, so good. I just got Haunt today. I can't wait to see that.
Good movie.
My wife wants to see this more than I do. Candy Corn. So.
I want to watch. I want to see.
Oh, there we go.
So that's gonna be
Children
fun.
of the Candy Corn.
Yeah, Crawl, which I'm ready to see that because I love my Gators.
Mm-hmm.
And this will be a
That's a good one.
rewatch. But House of the Devil, I really like that. So
It's a good one.
that's my agenda for the next tomorrow,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. House of the
All
Devil.
Friday.
Yeah, House of the Devil is a very solid Halloween. That's one I would recommend for like a Halloween marathon.
Yeah, for sure.
Haunt was fantastic. I loved Haunt. You'll enjoy it. I wasn't.
Yeah.
I was kind of with Candy Corn. It had some good ideas, but it was just didn't execute for me. But
Let me say this real quick, Piss, because I'm not expecting to have my world turned by it. I am expecting to get out of it something like The Barn. Is that a fair assessment?
gosh, I don't.
Not in subject matter, but in like in.
I don't even remember a whole lot about The Barn now, to be perfectly honest with you.
Just a charming little low budget movie. You know, it was fun for what it was. I'm assuming that's what Candy Corn's going to be.
It has some moments. It's got the little guy in it who he's actually in 3 from Hell. He was the only
Right.
He was the only character in 3 from Hell who was like, oh my god, this is a nice person. This is the first nice person ever in a Rob
Pancho
Zombie
Moeller.
movie. Yeah,
Pancho Moeller. He was great in 31 too. Although this is clearly not a Rob Zombie fan fest over here.
but he's also really good in Candy Corn too. He's also really
excellent.
good in that. Yeah. He's
cool. Excellent.
He was the best thing about Candy Corn in my opinion.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah. But yeah, let's see what's going on out in the chat tonight. Let's give some shout outs here. We've already got a lively chat going on tonight. Borderline 11 is with us. Devin Dungan, reviews and rankings with, my buddy Robbie Sobel's here. What's up, Robbie? Max Punishment, BBQ Network, DJ Donley, Joe Bob Tarheel, Crystal Lake Counselor 1977, our old buddy Chris. Hope you're doing well tonight. Malek, my old buddy Malek is here. Joe Caroluzzo, what's up? Jess Graham, hello. Movie Man 95, Jason Wall. Resurrection Reviews, our old buddy Steven is here as well. Hope you guys are all doing well tonight. Myers and Voorhees is here.
Both of them?
Yeah, but yes, they share an account. They apparently share an account on YouTube.
It's a law firm.
There you go.
Wow.
Borderline 11.
We slashed the code. Never mind.
Borderline 11 says R.I.P. Robert Forster. Yes, absolutely. R.I.P. Robert Forster. Passed away very recently.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Very. Another one of those guys like Sid Haig, man. Just a very, very long career.
Oh, man.
Tons and tons of movies and, television work. And, he was one of those guys who he kind of sank into obscurity a little bit. And then Jackie Brown blew him back up. And he's so good in Jackie Brown. So good. So good. So good.
Rest in peace.
And Alligator. If you guys haven't seen Alligator, my God.
Go
Louis
watch
T.
Alligator.
Yes. And if you if you haven't seen Alligator 2, The Mutation, watch it too. It's fun. It's fun. It's fun.
I should say that the Robert Forster movie that I saw while growing up, and I saw it many, many times, was The Black Hole. He played the captain of the Palomino spaceship in The Black Hole, and and he'd done lots of other stuff, but just a fine character actor.
Here's how good he is as a character actor. Didn't he play he was like a terrorist in that Chuck Norris movie? What, I can't even think of it off the top of my head. He was like a
Octagon.
I don't want to get the nationality mixed up and potentially offend people, but he was playing like a completely different nationality, and I thought I like that movie. But anyway, very sad the passing of the great Robert Forster. But Joe Bob, I will give a shout out to your nephew Dakota Blake Evans. Hello, Dakota Blake Evans, who is turning 7 years old next week. So happy early birthday to Dakota. Delta Force, thank you, Obnoxious Cameron, in the chat tonight. Yes, Delta Force, thank you. Yes. I think I may have even had a list of a couple of things to discuss before the commentary, but I'm totally blank on that. I definitely wanted to mention Creepshow. If you guys aren't watching Creepshow out there, by all means, look into Creepshow. But again, if you've not started it yet, hold off till Halloween night. Marathon that. That's my recommendation right there.
Okay.
Ryo were actually talking about in the live chat, American Horror Story.
Yes.
Whatever the new season's called. Camp Blood or something.
Yeah. I haven't seen the last episode, which I think came on last night.
That's episode 5, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't seen 5 yet either, but I really wasn't into it until maybe 3 or 4. But they've really done some cool stuff that I like a lot that I've really gotten into.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought
And,
I watched episode 1 and I was like, okay, I'm digging this. I'm really into it. And then I watched episode 2 and I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
exactly.
And then they unpacked even more in episode 3. And like I'm at the point now where I'm just watching to see what other batshit madness they're going to unleash next. Now I've only watched the first 3 episodes. I still have to watch 4. And
like
5
Richard Ramirez is in there now, which is pretty
I love
funny.
it. I love it. I when I first saw him in the first episode, as soon as I saw him, I don't know why, but I was with my buddy and I'm like, it's the Night Stalker. He was like, what are you talking about? I was like, I just knew, like it just clicked his face or something. Like the actor is great, and I was like, this is crazy, and then it just kept steamrolling. Like it's just getting crazier every episode. So I'm digging it.
Yeah, I was afraid that it was going to be like too busy and there would just be too much stuff happening, and of course there's been a hell of a lot more stuff happen since then, but I don't know. I like you, I'm kind of like going, okay, so how is this going to play out, and we're going to have like double and triple A agents, and we're going to find out that somebody's a robot, and we're going to find out that somebody's possessed, and it's already crazy, and it's at like 5 episodes in, so I mean it's only going to get crazy.
Yeah.
But
Speaking of crazy,
sure.
no, I was just talking about Halloween Resurrection.
Oh,
We're trying to avoid talking about Halloween Resurrection. Thank you.
Piz, let me ask you this, Piz. Were you planning? Because I wanted to ask the panel a question, but I'll save it in case you are intending on doing Halloween H2O commentary.
No, not next week. Not next week. We're doing a Halloween themed show next week, but it's not going to be another commentary or anything.
When we do our LL Cool J retrospective, we'll probably save it for that.
We'll save that for that. Yeah. We wanted, I for some reason, and I don't know what came over me. I thought, let's kick this season off with like the 3 worst Halloween movies commentaries for the 3 worst Halloween movies, and
You're a masochist.
I don't know what I was thinking.
It sounded a lot better on paper, guys. I apologize. I was on board for this as well. And it's
You mean you wrote that down?
I wrote it down.
It sounded a lot better on paper, but like I said, I think our viewers like to watch us suffer, and I'll tell you one thing. We did, and there was a big viewership during those shows and lots of conversations. I mean, our audience was not bored. Put it that way. So
just do just like bloodletting in the future. Just get it over short and sharp if they want to see us in pain.
I think that's against YouTube's terms of service.
And this isn't?
Well, why isn't this? Yes.
Well, don't give them any ideas, or horror movies will be against their terms of service soon.
Yeah.
Anyway. Go ahead.
Hey, guys, have you seen One Cut of the Dead?
I have not. I've heard a lot about it, and it's on my list, but I've just not been able to find it or find the time.
It's on Shudder, and just pull the trigger on it. It's amazing.
Okay,
it's amazing as a film, not really as a horror film because it really isn't, but it's just amazing what they accomplished on absolutely no budget. And you'll be fascinated, and you'll fall in love with the movie. If you love movies, you'll fall in love with the movie. It's a movie about loving movies.
Oh, cool. Well, I've still got. I've also still got to watch the other Sicken movies because I saw the first one. They're all different. I mean, it's not like it's all like a different.
Yes. So they're all their own stories until the 6th film, which you kind of then have to have seen all previous 5.
Mm-hmm.
But up to that point, you can enter wherever you want. You can watch them out of order. And only very, very small things will get missed. But it's more like an anthology series until the 6th movie.
Okay.
And the 6th film is 2 hours of absolute madness in a good way, not in a Rob Zombie sort of way.
Okay. Good.
But really, One Cut of the Dead should be... It's easy to find because it is on Shudder. It's like in their Shudder recommends. It's the first section. It is absolutely a ball.
Okay, cool, very cool. So I've got a big long list of stuff to watch on or before Halloween.
Man, like you guys have been killing me lately. I got this huge list on my phone. I've got One Cut of the Dead on there now. Is that the Japanese movie or is it? Okay.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I had heard about it, and like saw the cover art and stuff like that for it, and then I didn't know if it was like American remake or something like that.
You know,
Don't Google it. Don't find out anything about it. Just watch it.
yeah,
I know nothing about it except like the poster, and
Cool.
so it's on my list. So
yeah, it's on a
definitely.
it's made a bunch of like different,
There's a lot of Shutter on this list actually. I just gotta get a Shutter account.
Well, you can
They don't.
you
So
can
cheap.
Yeah, I don't. You're right.
you can get
Jay, hook me up.
you can get like the free week. Just go log in and they'll give you a free week.
But listen, it's a service that this week in prime time, because they also broadcast like a regular television channel, played Full Cheese the Beyond. Is it worth $6 a month? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Well, and
Definitely.
get in before it goes up, because I'm shocked it's not already gone up, considering the stuff that they've got on there and the fact that they're producing their own content, and that
Yeah.
stuff's not cheap.
I don't know. They've done a lot of good stuff lately, but there's been some stuff over the past couple of years I haven't been that happy with. But yeah, I'm sticking with it as of now.
Anybody going to watch Zombieland Double Tap this weekend?
I know Stone is.
Oh, I'm gonna wait till next weekend. Actually,
Yeah, I probably will too.
I got a lot of busy stuff to do this weekend. I hate to say it, I'm gonna probably wait on The Lighthouse as well, but yeah. But those two movies, I can't wait. I just can't wait.
I saw they were doing a double feature of Zombieland 1 and then the Double Tap.
That makes
Oh, where
sense.
at?
Like,
I'm not sure. I just saw it pulled up on the Regal app.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know. It's probably not anywhere near me, but I'm sure you'll have that option.
AMC is doing it.
I got to rewatch the first Zombieland too. Man, it's been 10 years.
Oh man, they're actually
man.
doing this at my theater. I never get stuff like this.
Hmm.
Shit.
One of my local theaters is doing a flashback kind of thing every week. Like last week was Gremlins. Jeremy and I went and watched Gremlins.
That's awesome.
This week-
That's awesome.
Awesome.
This week is Beetlejuice. We're going to go watch Beetlejuice, and then the week after is Nightmare on Elm Street. So
Oh man,
Nice.
are they digital or like are they?
that's a really good question. I was actually thinking of like asking somebody as we were leaving, because what I watched, I mean it looked film like. I mean I'm sure it was probably digital, but it looked very film like. So I mean
I've been to both, and I find with the old movies you can tell it's filmed pretty easily just because it's like they're pretty shaky. Like they got some old canister somewhere that somebody had a copy. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
And this
I went to one of those.
Oh, go ahead, Mike.
I was gonna say I went to one of those re-releases for Halloween probably 5 years ago, and it was definitely the Blu-ray because the PS4 logo was on the screen before they started the movie. So it kind of
That's
let you know
hilarious.
how you were watching it.
Yeah.
Do you
I've
slightly
seen-
feel ripped off by that?
Yeah, a
there
little
have been
bit,
times
yeah.
where I have been. When I went and saw Halloween, I think it was last year. They re-released 78
Yeah.
before 2018 came out, and it was definitely a Blu-ray, but it was like the most incredible cut, like the most incredible quality I've ever seen that film in. Like I couldn't believe watching it. So it's like it's a give or take, but it was so cool to see it on the screen in that quality. It was unbelievable. I could see everything.
Well, I mean,
It was like watching a different movie.
I think you've still got even if it's a Blu-ray, because I saw Jaws, I saw The Shining, and something else.
Alien?
No, I didn't see Alien. It was something, I don't remember what it was, but it was Blu-ray clearly, but it was big screen, and it was the great surround sound. I mean, it was the theater experience, and I didn't mind that it was Blu-ray, because I mean it was The Shining on the big screen, it was Jaws on the big screen, and it was just a really cool experience.
If they had like really nice reels left around, like I said, like I went and saw like Prince of Darkness, and I couldn't see anything in the movie. It was just so black, like it was just completely like kind of like ruined the film. And then I think I saw The Thing, and everything was green.
Oh,
Like it had just lost its color and stuff like that. And it's cool to go see them. It's like a super fun experience and all that. But like there are times when you go to see the old films, and I'm sure that somebody has a really nice reel somewhere that they kept like in a vault and kept it from dust and all that stuff and kept it clean. But a lot of the times these guys, they pay $250, they get them shipped in, and it's whatever they had kicking around. So there's give and take with all that stuff, I guess. But
Yeah.
If you're seeing a movie in a major chain theater at this point, you're only seeing digital.
Yeah.
They
that's what I was
do
gonna say, too.
they do not have projectionists in-house to do the job anymore, and it takes more than just taking it out of a box and throwing it into a machine to play a 35 millimeter print. Yeah.
Oh man,
Either you have
absolutely.
you either have to know how to pass over, or you need to assemble beforehand and then disassemble. They're not doing that anymore. It's all a computer.
Yeah.
So
we used to.
Well, part of the reason why I didn't ask anything of anybody at the theater that day is because everybody who worked at that theater is about 18 years old, or like set between 16 and 18 years old. So, I mean, they're not.
Yeah.
there's no one being paid to platter up a full print and then disassemble it. It's just not happening.
We used to, between shows, I used to work at a theater, and I used to help the projectionist, and we used to run those platters. Like, you know what I'm talking about, because you just said
Absolutely.
platter. We used to run those platters because we would have, like, our big screens were 1 and 10. So I would, like, a movie would end on the early show in 1, and I would, like, run that thing across the entire theater to the other end of the projection booth to get down to the next. And like, these platters are these huge things. And I used to love going up when the new films would come in on Thursdays. The cans would come in. I'd go up with the projectionist, and he'd be splicing in the trailers, because the trailers would come in these little cans, and they'd like flick through them, and they have to, like, if it's a horror movie, they got to go through the horror cans and, like, attach them all and get them all spun up, and then again, like I said, like, run them down through theaters and stuff like that. It's a totally different game now. I mean, it's all set up on a timer. I'm sure they download it. I don't even think it's like a Blu-ray anymore. You know what I mean? I think these things are probably wireless or something.
They're basically hard drives that get sent to them, that they just plug in. It's almost like an old DAT tape, except
They've got like a code or something, right?
Yeah.
That they have to plug into it.
Yeah, it's not adaptable to anything but the system, and a code gets sent. It's a pretty secure system, but yeah, unfortunately, unless you find some independent theater that still has a projectionist on site and has the equipment, because you can't even get parts for a lot of projectors anymore, that you have to have them machined if you need them. So there's no way an AMC or a Regal or any of the big chains are going through that. Not for one night where they'll sell 25 tickets.
That's so sad to me, man. So sad.
All the theaters around here are like, even the drive-ins. Like, so recently, all the drive-ins around here had, like, in the last 10 years or so, they had, like, basically Kickstarters or whatever to try and raise up funds, because they had to go digital.
Yeah.
They couldn't even get film cans anymore. And it costs a fortune to get the equipment, and they were all going to die out. So I know I threw in money to 2 of them, and it's just, it sucks, but that's where it is. So I don't even, like, I don't think you could run a film anymore, but I do. There is a theater in Halifax, downtown, that in the last 5 years I've gone to actual film prints. So they must still have a platter projection there, but it's pretty rare.
On the other hand, it does give them flexibility in what they can show. It's not really plausible to go through all the shipping nightmare it is for one night for a film that's going to fail as a boutique showing of something. But if it's a digital print, that's much more doable. I don't think they've monopolized. I don't think they've maximized the potential on it yet, but they could. I didn't get to go, but last night one of the local theaters here, 20 minutes away, showed the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. There's only one way that happens, and it's not with film reels.
Yeah.
So there's a positive side to it.
Yeah.
Let me Lauren, you better not watch Jason X tonight instead of Resurrection. You better not.
Myers and Voorhees seems to agree with me.
Myers and Voorhees. Okay.
I don't want to go.
Wait up. Myers himself is saying watch Jason X.
Apparently, both of them. Apparently, in the chat. Hey, listen, they have the power of the law on their side, so I think we should.
I've got. Listen, the Sausage Factory has Larry Zerner on retainer. Okay. So.
Well, that should tell you everything you need to know about which series we should be supporting.
I do want to give a big shout out to, oh goodness, where'd that comment go? Indie Phantom, who said that these Halloween shows have been among TSF's best shows. Absolutely loving them start to finish. So at least Indie Phantom has enjoyed watching us suffer. You know what I mean?
Long-time viewer, big props, Indie Phantom.
Yes,
Thanks for your support, brother.
Exactly. Indie's been around for a long time, so thank you. Thank you. Okay, so why don't we go and do you guys have anything that you want to add? Any words of wisdom or anything
I,
like
I
that?
got my rosary beads. Can I go ahead and get on those?
Sure, go ahead. Get those popping.
Can you use those as a noose?
Let's see. All right, guys, let's go ahead. Everybody at home, if you're going to queue up your copy of Halloween Resurrection, let's go ahead and do that. Get your copy of Resurrection queued up at the very beginning of the film at 0.00 so that we can all be together. At least there's only one cut of this movie, or one cut that's widely available. Of this
That's what I was
film.
about to ask. Yeah, it's
One cut that's
Is there actually another cut?
There is
No.
it's the home. What's it called, Lauren?
Homecoming.
Homecoming. It's the Homecoming
Halloween
cut.
Homecoming. And there's actually 2 different versions of that.
Yes.
Are they on disc? Like,
No, they're
Jeez.
nowhere
Okay.
legally available. You can find them online easy.
I actually got my hands on one cut that had an opening in which it's like a
home
home.
movie?
Yes, it's a home movie. It's of like the Myers family in the backyard. Like they're doing like a cookout, and what's her name is hula hooping, and little Michael's kind of standing with his back to the camera, and he's gesturing for them to move the camera away from him, and he turns around and he's got the 70s feathered hair and the devil's eyes and
the blackest eyes.
exactly. And then the ending was different. The ending on this one was they took Michael to the coroner's office, and the coroner opened the bag, and his eyes opened up, and that was the end. So,
There's an earlier cut that's almost all from the cameras in the show, and there's very little framing devices. But apparently, the producers hated that. So
I actually read the dude. I can't remember the guy's name. Not Sean Hood, the original writer. His script. And it wasn't great, but I mean it was much better than this. And
Larry Brand.
Larry Brand, yes. It had like a detective character in it that was, very clearly an homage to Loomis, and the Laurie's death at the beginning is different, but I don't remember exactly how she died at the beginning. I'm sorry, was different, but I don't remember how. And yeah, anyway.
I don't know why I didn't think Rick Rosenthal wrote that. I guess there's just ignorance. It's not like I really researched the film that much.
Yeah,
either did guy who wrote it.
clearly, yes, clearly.
For the record, this is my least favorite Halloween film, but I still laugh at it. It's still silly, so it's not like I can't get enjoyment out of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there's,
I just don't like this time frame, Piz. You know what I mean? Like this American Pie era. Like I love American Pie, but like just this era, it got really, really redundant for me. It's just, so.
Well, I think the setup for this movie is actually kind of ahead of its time and could have been really interesting because, I mean, really,
Like the webcam stuff, you mean?
Yeah, like this movie did the dirty work of let's get the brother-sister Laurie Strode angle out of the way early, and let's do something new and fresh and different. And the basic premise is new and fresh and different. The execution is dog vomit, however. So, but this was a movie too that, I mean, reshoots and re-edits, and I mean this is another one of those Weinstein jobs, and you can tell that this is a movie that was cobbled together from various reshoots in the editing room, and it's a mess. So anyway, all right, I will count down from 3, and then we'll get the party started. Dangertainment is about to begin. Why didn't I get a bullhorn? I should have got a bullhorn. Yeah. All right, guys, in 3, 2, 1, and go.
1.
All right, here we go. The Dangertainment's about to begin, people.
Yes.
At least I finally get proper subtitles this week.
The
Yeah,
I still don't have
Dimension
subtitles,
logo.
Hey, aren't
I'm
they
using,
no
like, a
longer?
double stuff.
Isn't it no longer Miramax? Didn't they change it to Weinstein Company or something?
I think it's now called the House of Rape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there is still a Miramax company, I think.
They opened up another one called the Weinstein.
They opened up
Company.
another called the Weinstein Company.
They may have sold Miramax for all I know.
I think they.
I
That
thought
would
they had a
make
fire
sense, right?
sale on it, like a big auction, didn't they? And sold a bunch of stuff.
Like, hey, Quentin, how you feel about?
Busta Rhymes.
They still own Dimension though, so. Or I think they still own Dimension. I don't know. I'm surprised.
Tyra Banks.
So I'm surprised Jason Blum hasn't come in and bought that up.
Tyra Banks. And Jamie Lee Curtis.
Mm-hmm.
As a paycheck.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, this was a big time. She was like, Mama needs a new boat.
And you can tell, whatever the budget was for this movie, about 75 to 80% of it went in Jamie's pocket, and the rest went on the screen.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, Piz, real quick, because I see people talk about this a lot, and I don't know if they don't realize this. You probably know better than I do. Jamie, she only did this movie because they pretty much lied to her in H2O, right? So she said, "Yeah, I'll come back, but I'm only doing the beginning." Isn't that true?
From my understanding, she thought H2O was going to be the end, and when they came back to her for this one, she said the only way she'd do it is if you killed Lori, and
Yeah.
so she did it. And of course, like I said, I'm sure it was a very nice paycheck.
For a day's worth of work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an early role for Katie Sackhoff, who went on to be Starbuck.
The lovely Katie
Yep.
Sackhoff.
I love how in every time a movie does a insane asylum, they always have some old bald guy in a wheelchair.
Well,
It's like
and
it's just how it is.
and they've always just people are wandering around in the hallways too, having like some sort of fit in the hallways. So
Mhm.
What's funny is I bet John Carpenter has never even seen this movie.
he probably doesn't know this
Fuck
movie
no.
exists.
Yeah.
He doesn't remember getting the.
Oh, he
paycheck
knows
for
it
this movie.
exists. Oh, he knows it exists, Piz, because that check hit the mailbox. Are they making another one?
Yeah,
All
I
right.
think that probably went direct.
Oh, man.
deposit. If you said, "Oh,
There's
John,"
a lot of money in my account all of a sudden. Smoke weed every day.
they'll be like, "Mr. Carpenter, did you see the Halloween movie that had Busta Rhymes in it?" And he goes, I bet his response would be, "Dude, I've never been that high."
Yeah.
But no, really, there was one made with Busta Rhymes in it. No, come on, you're trolling me.
Yeah. Come on. Yeah. No way.
Never happened.
I wonder if they reached out to Williamson to do any writing for this, because didn't he do the previous one?
He did I think he did an outline.
Oh, he
for
did a
for
rewrite,
H2O
yeah.
or something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
The real question is, honestly, and I was thinking about this. We were talking about last time about whether Malcolm McDowell was right for Loomis. We all missed the obvious. They should have got William Shatner.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would be for
Absolutely.
that.
not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yes.
He should have had
Michael
some kind of a
Myers.
cameo in the series.
I mean, he can't cost what Jamie cost for this, right?
12-pack of past blue ribbon.
And a very bored intern's hour and a half.
Oh,
But I mean,
I love this retcon. Oh.
Yeah, you cut off, and actually the guy, the paramedic who got his head cut off is Gary J. Tunnicliffe.
And I love the fact that Michael's like walking away nondescript because he got away with this. He's hiding, but he's carrying the
a
friggin' knife.
huge knife with him. Yes, exactly.
God Almighty.
Gee, I sure hope nobody notices.
is this the only? Is this the only Halloween movie where the mask has eyebrows?
4 has eyebrows.
I was gonna say 4 has those shanky eyebrows too.
I think
Yeah, it
5
does.
does too.
I hate
Yeah.
the eyebrows. I hate.
I think 4 is the worst mask, right? But
No.
Oh, that is the
4's
worst
not.
one.
4's not the worst. 4's not the worst.
I think H2O is the worst, isn't it?
I don't know. There's one of them that's like it just looks like they painted.
I would say
cardboard
5
and
is
slapped it on
probably
face.
the worst.
5
It's 5
is-
I'm thinking of. That's what I'm thinking of. Then.
5
What?
is bad.
Okay.
H2O, they
H2O
have
has
like
all
6 different masks in H2O.
Exactly.
Yeah, and a digital one.
And a digital one, yeah.
actually
Okay.
a digital mask.
Real quick, does anybody ever think about this? The scene where the cop goes to pull the mask off of the severed head. First off, shouldn't that be a coroner looking at that first? Second of all, shouldn't you be
Let's-
putting on gloves for God's sakes? Oh,
pretty
here's a
sure that-
severed head. Let's take
It's
the
a
mask
crime
off.
scene. Like,
And
I
Oh,
gotta
it's
see
like-
who it is.
that just shocks me. And look at Jamie Lee right here. That she's not trying to look drugged out and psychotic. She's saying to herself, "Let's get this over with."
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Just hurry up and get it done.
What's
Get
the
this
minimum amount of
over with.
work I have to do where they'll still accept the take and I can go home?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She got an Annabelle piss. Look at that.
Yep, she sure does.
She's probably saying, "Devil, take me
We
now."
are 5 minutes into this movie and I've already yawned.
I wish I had that doll full of whatever the fuck she's got.
She got for them drugs. She gonna sell that when she gets out.
So consider this, though, right? The mask couldn't have gone with Michael because it was on the cop, on the paramedic that he killed, right? The cop pulled it off. So
Where'd he get this one?
Michael had to go on eBay in its very earliest days and
Mm-hmm.
find an exact match to the mask he stole in '78.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think we have to accept that in this world, it's like the Scream mask. Like, you go into any Halloween costume shop in the world. But I mean, is this October? I have no idea.
And remember, this is not.
For a second.
And remember, this is not Haddonfield, so he couldn't have gone back to the same shop where he got the first one.
He called up the Shat, got him to mold his face again.
Exactly.
Could you deliver a mask for me in 24 hours so I can kill my sister?
Those look like Christmas trees outside by the cop right now. Those are Christmas trees, aren't they?
Are they?
They look very Christmassy.
They look like Christmas trees.
Maybe. Oh God, the jump scares. Ugh. Like all.
Does anybody actually like? I wouldn't say like really like the mask. Is anybody actually okay with the Michael Myers mask in this movie? I like it better than H2O myself.
Yeah, I think yeah.
It's an improvement. Yeah, I think it's probably the. That doesn't take much, but it's for me. It's the best one since the original two.
Really?
It looks good.
Ironically enough.
Well, it looks really good in the shadows right here as he's coming up. I think it looks cool. You know.
Yeah, it does look good. It's got a nice kind of, I don't know. It's a good mask. It's a good mask.
Yeah.
Frito-Lay gets their money's worth. That's the Pepsi company right there. No, seriously, that's a reason that every product in there is a Pepsi product.
I was going to say Doritos, yeah. Pepsi.
Fritos, Cracker Jam.
Remember those commercials where Frankenstein used to show up with the Pepsi and Doritos?
Yep.
Now, who knows box office wise if this movie was good? I'm just wondering because I don't know.
It did okay. It did well. It more than doubled what it cost. I think it only cost. I don't remember. I know it doubled. It more than doubled what it cost.
But it didn't do a fraction of H2O.
It didn't do it. Yeah, it didn't do anything.
Right,
H2O
right.
did, yeah.
It didn't do as much money, but
That's a big running theme in this franchise is that every time they do something to rejuvenate the franchise, they immediately fall on their face afterwards.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
Which says that 2020 is going to be an interesting year.
Yeah.
This guy looks like a fat Jordan Peele.
He does, like, big time.
Yeah,
Big
he
time.
does.
You were
I
trying.
actually, like, I started working at a theater right around when this movie came out. That's when I had my run at working at a theater. And one of my first jobs was, I think it was to drum up people going to the screen. I'm not sure, but they made me, like, bounce the door to the theater, like, just for this show. Like, stand there with, like, a rope and everything. And I could only let people in. They'd have to show me their ID. I think it was like to drum up like, oh, this movie's so scary or whatever. Like, it was really weird. I never did it after that ever for any other movie. But for this movie, I had to stand in front of the theater and like check tickets and check IDs and make sure people were of age and all this stuff, which I worked in a theater for years and years and years. If a kid got into a theater, they didn't really care. But for some reason, this movie, I think it was just a tactic. Because it did pretty well. I remember the theater was filled every time they showed it for the first couple of weeks. So
I'll tell you why. Dr. Loomis and Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 said it best. You're selling the sizzle, not the steak.
exactly, that's what they did. So I remember that was a weird thing that they did. I never did it after that, but
Oh boy, there goes Jordan Peele.
yeah.
I know there was one we had to go like beg for money for donations for some cause. Like they would run the thing and then they would stop it, and we'd go down there and like, "Hello, everyone! I'm collecting money for I forget what it was, some foundation."
Oh wow!
It's the worst thing ever.
Like right in the middle of the show.
Yeah, it was like before it started, like
Okay,
maybe like after the trailers all ran.
Hmm.
You know, they turned the lights on.
I will say
and
the
I'd
theater
walk
I worked
around.
at did a lot of cool stuff for like horror movies. It was like I remember they hired like a bunch of guys when Freddy versus Jason came out, and this guy would like dress himself up. One night he did Freddy, one night he did Jason, and he would hide under the masking. And then when the movie started, he'd run out like screaming and stuff like that, and scare the shit out of people and stuff like that. So they would always try little quirks around this time to get the horror movies pumped up. And I don't know if it's because they knew they were shitty.
If you did that now in a theater, your ass is going to jail.
I was about to say that, yeah.
Oh yeah, we used to hide the guy under there and bring him like pretzels and shit. He'd just hang out there for like an hour waiting for the theater to fill up, and then he'd go out and then he'd take pictures with people out. And he did amazing makeup jobs.
I think that mask does look pretty shitty. That mask is pretty bad.
The mask, he looks like the kid on the Boondocks.
So it's kind of like this whole sequence up to now. It's kind of like a Scooby-Doo hallway scene. Like, you know, Jamie's ducking through one way and then Mike's coming out the other.
My question is this: why hasn't? I'm sure it's happened. I just don't see it often, especially in these types of movies. Why doesn't the director say, you know what? We're gonna get this camera on a track. We're gonna haul butt going back. You need to run like you're really running, because Jamie Lee is barely she's barely picking her feet up off the ground in this chase scene.
She had a no-run clause on this one. She was like,
I'm assuming she even said there's gonna be another comma in that paycheck if you want me to run.
She had probably a shitload of stipulations.
So how did this trap work? Because I mean, seriously, if Michael hadn't exactly stepped where he stood, it wouldn't.
It was like a little loop. Like
wow.
this.
And not just that. You got to think, when did she have time to set it up? I mean, does she have access to the roof on a regular basis? What kind of asylum is this?
That's the magic of the movies, Lauren. That's what that is.
He has to step in a 6-inch by 6-inch space.
It's like the Wile E. Coyote show here.
Yeah.
Hey, when I saw this in the theater, I could feel. I could hear groans from the rest, from many people in the theater, and they were not digging this at all.
It's not really worth defending, but you could say that since the staff thought she was on medication, that they may not have been watching her very close. So it's possible that she may have been able to set this up. But there again, it's not worth defending, and it's highly improbable.
And they lent her some rope and
yeah.
Well, see that could be the movie right there. Actually, show us how that could happen. Show us how that situation could be done, and then maybe it wouldn't be so ridiculous, you know.
But having worked in an institution, those guys find ways to do shit that you're just like, what? What? You did what?
Oh, I know.
What?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, some of the shit people do when they're incarcerated, you'd be surprised what they can come up with. Very creative.
Well, I love this here of Michael, like, doing the mask thing to trick her so that,
Yeah.
So she can't be sure.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Maybe it happened again. Let me get it over here and take his mask off, Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Was this really the best that they could come up with for her? I mean, why not just a simple chase? And you know what I mean? Just have him. She's hiding in a closet, and he opens the closet door and stabs her. You know what I mean? That would have been better.
If it's not Michael, why didn't he say something? Like, hey, bro.
Oh, maybe he's a mute. I mean, God, jeez, this is horrible.
You're already incarcerated. Just stab him, then pull the mask off.
I was going to say, she look at him and go, I don't care who you are. I'm already locked up. What the hell are they going to do to me now later?
Yeah. I mean, they could not think of a better demise for this character than this. Look, he's holding on with 2 fingers. If you look at it here in a minute in the overhead, he's literally holding on with 2 fingers.
Yep.
I do think it was
gross.
Say 2 fingers! 2 fingers! Literally 2 fingers he's holding on. Like, what the hell?
Look at her
You know,
smiling as she's falling. She's smiling as she's falling. Like, thank God.
You know, she's like, thank
The
God it's
last day
over.
of shooting. It's finally over.
Yeah.
Well, you never have
That's
to do
not-
this again.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
She can survive that fall, though. That's not that far.
That's not that far. She
That
landed on
really
her back.
wasn't. Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. I miss Sherry Moonzabi stripping. This is just horrible.
no, this is
So
bad.
you don't like this guy in the club?
No.
I've already had more fun than I did in both the last
Well,
two.
why
ones.
couldn't we have gotten? If we had gotten some True Lies in this, I'd have been okay. Does nobody remember Jamie Lee?
Oh,
in True
yeah,
Lies?
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I'm thinking about it.
That's a James Cameron movie. I don't talk about James Cameron movies.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
James Cameron.
Ever since I walked out of Avatar, that was it for me.
It was over with The Spawning to me.
Really. Piranha 2.
That's it. That's it,
I mean,
baby.
James Cameron's never made a bad movie. Everything he touches is brilliant. And
Everything he touches is brilliant.
that's the damn truth.
Everything he touches
Except
is brilliant.
Avatar.
Mhm.
Except Avatar.
You name me a James Cameron
We'll
movie.
talk. We'll talk after Terminator Dark Fate comes out.
Well, no. He didn't write that. He didn't direct it.
You said anything he touched, he has a producer's credit. Done.
No. That
Is it a producer's credit or an executive?
the only thing he touched in regards to Dark Fate is the check that they handed him to put his name on it. That's it.
Oh, come on.
The
He's
movie started,
back as a producer.
and I see things that I recognize. Oh,
You know what? I bet 80% of the people who are watching that god awful trailer, and when it says James Cameron is back, they're like, "Who the hell's James Cameron?"
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, you know that
Yeah.
Titanic movie my mom likes so much? Oh, yeah.
There's Rick
Yeah.
Rosenthal right there.
Yeah. Have you guys seen the Red Band Dark Fate trailer?
No.
Yep. This
I-
is even funnier.
Yeah, I watched it and I was like every other trailer I saw, I just thought, my God, this movie is the worst thing I've ever seen. And that one was the first one that I thought I might actually get a kick out of this.
I
But
will be there opening night.
it's gonna be interesting.
I have zero interest in the new Terminator. I didn't even bother with the last one.
I didn't watch the last one either. I still haven't watched Genesis. I gave up after. I really didn't like that Christian Bale joint.
Oh, somebody told me like
Question,
half
next
of that. The
question's
first half was good, but
It's Terminator
don't-
Salvation.
That's the one, yeah.
yeah.
No, I like that.
Call me crazy. I like that one. At least they did something different with it. You know. Like,
I'm not complaining about it. It wasn't that I thought it was. I remember. You know what? Actually, it's not even that I don't like it. I barely remember it, and that just tells me something. Like I remember I watched
Yeah.
it, and that's it. Like, I actually own it on DVD. I should really give it a rewatch sometime.
it's all right. It's not bad.
The only thing I remember about Terminator Salvation was when Christian Bale had that freak out on the set.
Yeah.
No.
That's the only thing I remember about that.
McG.
McG.
And if anybody out there has any hope for Avatar 2 and the other Avatar movies,
No.
let me remind you that the guy who wrote the new Avatar movies is the same guy who wrote Alien vs. Predator Requiem.
Ugh.
And the same guy who lit
I
it.
don't know. The only thing I can say for that is it's not Alien versus Predator.
Speaking of that, has there ever been a film with the subtitle Resurrection that's been good?
What was that question again?
Oh, yeah. Alien Resurrection.
Yeah, that's a
I
bad film.
actually kind of liked Alien Resurrection.
Better than 3.
Ugh.
I actually kind
Don't
of
at me,
like
bro.
three.
Don't at me.
Jay, watch yourself.
Yeah, I said it.
Well, you have every right to be wrong.
But do you like the assembly cut or the theatrical
I was gonna
cut?
say, yeah, the last time I watched was the assembly cut, and I actually I kind of dug that.
Yeah, the assembly cut.
And I watched Resurrection the last couple of years, and it did not fare well as it did in my memory.
I will chalk that up to studio meddling, though. I feel
Actually-
like it probably could have been a good film.
Actually, there is a great movie called Resurrection, but nobody remembers it. It had Ellen Burstyn back in 1980. She was nominated for an Academy Award, but nobody remembers it, so whatever.
It was one with Christian Lambert that was pretty awful.
Yes.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah.
years ago.
I gotta Google this now. Movies with resurrection in the title.
Too many, man.
That was like some
Oh,
kind
man.
of serial killer movie with Christopher Lambert in it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's done a bunch of shit movies.
He has done a lot of bad movies.
So is Rambo Raff in the chat? He may prove me wrong.
Well, Mean Guns is amazing.
Oh.
Ice-T. Awesome film.
I like Mean Guns. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I
Oh
like
man, check out that iBook.
it.
Oh, I want one.
Is that some sort of chandelier made out of panties?
Yeah.
the panty leer.
Yeah.
Look at that old,
Got to give the audience something to look at,
look at that old iBook.
something to
Interesting.
distract them. Oh, here's Ryan Merriman.
This film was like if the last film was kind of the Dawson's Creek aesthetic, this is more like the MySpace aesthetic, where everything's super obvious and flashy for no good reason, but looks at the same time like a television production.
But here again, I agree with Piz. I applaud them for actually getting rid of the Laurie Strode sister storyline and just doing something different.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
different, for better or for worse.
Yeah. I mean,
It takes guts, you know.
Yeah. If they had just, I don't know, you know.
Well, you're right. It's the execution. Like the idea that he finishes off Laurie and then he goes home.
Yeah.
Is a great idea, and
Yeah.
you could write that 100 different ways, and it would be better than this movie. Love those decorations, though. Love those decorations. But yeah, like they just it's the poor execution of it. Oh.
The man of the hour.
Oh man,
Bus a bus.
Now I'm not a fan of rap music at all. I hate to say, but has any of you listened to any of his music?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was all
Is he
over.
any good?
It was
or-
all over MTV back in the day. My God.
Yeah, he was top of his game. I mean, around this time, I guess.
Dangerous. Dangerous is a good song.
All of his music videos,
Woo-ha.
the camera was perpetually right in his face the whole time. Woo-ha! Like that. Every video was like this.
Yeah.
I think he took the record away from the Micro Machines guy for the fastest talker.
Well, the
I
guys
think
from
that's an
Onyx,
actual thing.
the guys from Onyx were honestly the fastest in the game for a long time. But it's not his fault he's bad in this. It really isn't. He has
American Pie.
He has personality and charisma.
I was about to ask that.
I mean, if you want real rap, get old boys.
The Guinness Book for fastest rapper, like they keep breaking it over and over. Like I
At
think
one time,
Twista,
if he doesn't still hold it, he did it one time. He beat the Micro Machines guy for how fast he could rap.
You could actually understand what he was saying at the speed he did, whereas you get to Twista, which is what Jay was just going to say. It gets lost. It's too fast.
but I mean they broke Twista's record, 20 years ago.
So
What about Tyra Banks? Because we give Busta a lot of crap for this, but what about Tyra? Is she innocent in this movie at all, or do you guys get beefs with her in this too?
She was hot back then, man.
I can't
No,
have
no,
any
no.
beefs against Tyra.
He's good looking,
No,
but
she's gorgeous. What I'm saying is just like, does she get a pass because of Busta's basically his dialogue and stuff in this movie, or does she have some cringe moments in this as well? Because it's been a long time since I've seen
It's
it.
really just because of that end scene. Like, I mean, that takes
Yeah.
the cake. I mean,
And
you
the
could watch this
centerpiece.
entire movie,
the
and
centerpiece where they both have the Michael Myers masks on, that's the worst, I think.
yeah,
Yeah,
I think
Busta watching kung fu movies, though, man. Come on.
Eh,
Why do I feel like that was Busta's idea? Like I'm sure it's
sure
not,
it
but in
was.
my mind, I've convinced myself that Busta's like, yo, man, I'll be watching kung fu movies at the hotel, man.
I would not be surprised if Busta Rhymes pulled Rick Rosenthal aside one day and said, "Yo, man, how about at the pivotal moment in this movie, I throw some kung fu on Mikey Myers?" And Rick Rosenthal was like, "Well, okay, whatever."
Hey, Rick Rosenthal had nothing but praise for Busta Rhymes in his commentary. Nothing but praise.
Here is how Busta Rhymes got cast in this movie. Malik Akkad, who's now the big Akkad, told Mustafa, "Oh, you've got to get Busta Rhymes. He's the coolest. He's so awesome. He's going to bring in so many young people, and he's just awesome." And now,
Well, they had LL Cool J.
that same man is now over for he's the captain of the Halloween
Yeah.
everything.
I don't know if
LL
you guys
Connect.
remember,
LL
but
Connect.
a lot of people, a lot of rappers tried careers as actors.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot. We're talking like
especially
the
around
majority.
I think all of
time
pretty much
period.
all of them. Yeah.
Like, I mean, Mos Def.
Tupac.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Tupac was
Ice-T
a
did
legit
pretty good.
actor though.
Or
Now,
Tupac was good.
Ice-T's still on TV.
or Rosenthal
that's true.
said, or I'm sure
Next to the Z exhibit.
Or I'm sure Rosenthal said, "Hold on, Busted. Let's get Mustafa's input on this." And Bust was like, "Yo, Mustafa, I wanna kung fu this dude, man." And Mustafa was like, "Whatever you want, sir. Whatever you want. You
Right.
yes, you."
It's all reshoots though, so there was probably no plan. There was no plan. They probably shot as much crap as they could and made some poor editor try and make sense of it.
Yeah, that's who I feel. The editor is the guy who was ready to open up a vein.
Just the pumpkins and the Halloween costumes, like that's the kind of stuff I like to see.
I love this stuff.
Yeah.
The
I
kid
know
wearing-
they're laying it on to make us feel the Halloween feel because the town doesn't really exude that, but I love it. Every time I see like a
I know.
die cut decoration, I'm like,
and the kid in the bear costume from The Shining is just amazing. It's there.
That's a terrible costume.
this is getting weird, guys. This is getting a little bit weird.
Looks
I know
hot
this
too,
was-
really hot in Cali, wouldn't it?
I know this was Mustafa Akkad's last film as an executive producer. Was this the first one that his son, if I screw up his Malik or Malik, is this the first one that he had serious creative input into?
No, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe because I know he'd worked on some of the other ones, as,
H2O?
like PAs and stuff. But this may be the one. I don't know.
Where he started having more influence than his own father.
Oh no. No.
Musta was probably still the king, huh?
Yeah, Mustafa was still the king, I'm sure. Until
Well, Malik's name was in the credits, so he was involved in some way.
He was.
Coffee boy.
yeah, but I'm everything was probably approved by Mustafa. But then, of course, everything needed to be then approved by the Weinsteins, and if they didn't like it, then they were gonna cut it up and have.
Oh, yeah.
When did earrings stop being cool on guys?
I don't know. They're not cool.
Because I used to have both
Yeah.
ears.
Dangertainment.
What kind of HP device is that? She's typing on, but it comes out as she's writing on with like
that's a PDA.
It is, yeah. Palm
You guys
Pilot?
recognize the American Pie guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw him at a convention not long ago.
Oh, okay.
What's he up to?
Doing conventions. That's what he's up to.
American Reunion 2.
Oh God.
Yeah, they made that actually made money, and they're actually going to make another one.
National Lampoon
That's insane.
presents.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I think when I saw this movie in the theater, he was literally the only cast member I recognized. Him and Ryan Merriman.
It's just so weird because like there's no setup for a horror movie going on right now. If the
Yeah.
opening sequence with Jamie Lee Curtis was not here, you would have absolutely no clue that this was supposed to be a scary film.
Yeah.
It's not shot in any way that suggests it. It's just bizarre. Again, it's that MySpace thing.
Do you think it would have done any better without Jamie Lee at all?
I don't think
I don't know. They had to tie that up.
I think anything's possible, man. But I
Was
don't
that
have
the
any
selling point in the trailer where they're like, Jamie Lee is back?
Well, put it to you like this, man. She's pretty prominent on the poster for the movie still.
Sure.
Yeah, she is.
I mean, Tyra was huge. Busta Rhymes was huge. American Pie guy was huge.
But I bet they still couldn't. I mean, make this movie as big a hit as H2O was.
no.
Not nearly.
Man, I don't really like H2O that much. I don't know how you guys feel.
I don't either. I don't either.
I like it quite a lot.
I like H2O.
Ooh, close up on Tyra's ass. There you go.
I'm sure that was in the contract.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As we come up on our first real murder sequence.
Tyra getting that coffee. Oh, I don't know if you guys ever saw the behind the scenes on the making of this. the house that they use in the Myers house, that was done in like a studio room with a massive green screen. So when you saw the guy outside of the Myers house, like getting his bag and stuff, that was in a massive green screen room. And I would never have known that unless I saw the special features of that.
Huh.
Check out the special features. It's actually kind of cool, man. It really was cool. I would have never guessed.
DVD has a lot of special features.
What kind of tripod is this at the bottom half of it's like?
Oh,
spear.
I've never seen a tripod with a spear.
I've never
on
seen
it
that.
like
I've never seen that before. I guess it's so you can stick it in the grass.
They do make them that have little blades at the bottom so they can be attached in sand or rock or grass, but they're not extendable like that. That's like serious peeping Tom murder weapon stuff.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. I just like that this like ghetto setup has a professional cappuccino maker in it.
Oh yeah, Tyra's Starbucking down there. She got the cream on top and everything.
She got to write her name on it with the wrong letters.
Oh my god,
perfect.
That's Tyra's idea right there.
Tyra Banks with cream on her lips. That's what I'm talking about.
Anybody had a cell phone like that back in the day?
Not like that. No.
No, flip phone like that. That would have been too fancy.
Yeah.
I had the brick Nokia.
I had that Nokia that had Snake on it.
I still think my favorite, my of all the cell phones I've owned, my favorite one I think was my old Motorola Razr flip phone.
Oh, you had the Razr. I love those Razrs.
Those things were
Yeah,
I had one of them too.
Loved that thing, man. It was so just cool.
It was really cool, especially because it was around the time of the Matrix, and all those phones were super cool at the time.
You can snap them. I'm out.
Oh, Busta driving that minivan, baby.
But you notice how those phones like date movies so hard, though?
Oh yeah.
Like if it's not a smartphone, it's like, oh, this thing's fucking old.
Exactly. Yeah.
We'll be saying the same thing in 20 years because no one will have phones.
Yeah, it'll be like in our eyes or something.
What the hell are they putting up to their ears?
Yeah.
This sequence on the street is the most offensive thing to me yet so far in the film. Yeah, I hate children trick-or-treating in daylight.
Right. Yeah.
That's
sacrilege, and they should have known better if they're going to call their film Halloween.
Well, around here, they never do trick or treat actually on Halloween night. I don't know what the deal is with that, and the trick or treat hours are like 6 to 8 or something like that. So I mean, it's not even not even dark.
I say 10 o'clock's a shut off.
I have a buddy of mine.
I cut off at 9, but
I don't ever remember as a kid trick or treating in the day or at any daylight at all.
I didn't leave until it got dark.
Yeah, you got to wait till it got dark.
I had a buddy of mine. He wrote a few years ago. He wrote a whole article online asking the question if trick or treating was a dying institution, because I've heard reports of like that. It's. I mean, there are kids that still do trick or treat, but it just doesn't seem like it was as big as it was years ago.
A lot of places do like trunk or treat, where like people pull up their cars in parking lots and open up their trunk and they go trunk to trunk, or they do like the mall.
Yeah.
My area, I have to say, there's no hour. There's no like. I'm surprised, but there's none of that stuff. So like typically 9 o'clock, this guy comes around for donations every year, and when he comes by, no other kids come by at that point, so I just shut it down. But like kids come, they don't come really till it gets dark, and it's pretty much 7 to 9, I guess. But there is no rules, but a lot of places have a lot of rules.
Yeah, it doesn't help.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is around here with like, we can't actually do trick-or-treating on Halloween now. I'm not sure what the deal is.
I don't buy into that crap.
I do know what the deal is, and that's because this is, Southern Baptist territory. They think it's evil. But the thing, too, is like there's all this crap about, poison candy and people getting abducted and all this.
It was all debunked.
That never happened. Never happened.
I don't think the only case it ever was, it was like the parents that did it, right?
The dad did it. The dad killed his own son. Yeah.
In the chat, Barbecue Network says no trick-or-treaters come to his house, so I think we all need to pitch together and show up on his doorstep on October 31st.
Okay. Barbecue Network, what city and state do you live in, and what is your home address and phone number?
Oh, seriously, don't put it on there, dude.
Yeah, don't.
We'll call all the neighborhood houses to say, hey, send your kids out trick-or-treating.
But Barbecue, if we're making this pilgrimage, it's got to be worth it. So prepare those
size candy bars.
Yeah,
full
don't mess
size.
around, bro.
If there's a box of raisins in that bag, man, then the house will
Yeah,
make.
no,
You give me
no,
an apple, I'm gonna flip out.
no fruits.
I'm expecting free
Well-
cones at McDonald's.
Well, I mean,
Oh,
with
man.
a channel name like Barbecue Network, I want some hot wings dropped in my bag, or some chicken breasts, some pork chops.
Truth.
Another thing that they'll do around here is they do I forget what they call it, but they do it in the church and they dress up as biblical characters in the church.
Yeah, fuck all that. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I forget
Exactly.
I forget what they call it. There's a name for it, but I
See-
forget what it is.
Oh man.
See, I'm in the Bible Belt too, and a lot of that shit's going on. But I mean, I've seen a lot of the reverse of that in maybe the past decade. It got really strict, but now, like, seems like more people are embracing it. Like, all the churches still do stuff, but it's like that's just something else in addition to, you know, the actual night.
I still have fond memories of trick or treating, though,
Oh,
and
dude.
getting all the candy, and then going home watching Garfield's Halloween Adventure and It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. That was Halloween for me growing up. In fact, I'll never forget this. One of my favorite bits of It's a Great Pumpkin is when they explained to Sally all about trick or treating and what you're supposed to do, and she just asked, "Is that legal?"
Man, I used to plan for like weeks and months ahead of time for
I did
Halloween.
too.
Like, what I'm
Yeah.
gonna be,
Yeah. Oh.
I did too.
get my
Yeah.
stuff together. It's
Not
so
the
much fun.
thing.
I had a
not the
huge Halloween resurgence probably about 12 years ago or so, where I would get really pumped up about fixing the house up and handing out candy to kids.
Yeah.
And me and Jeremy would get dressed up and we'd hand out candy. But I just remember being like really disappointed because I lived in an area that back then that should have been, well, in my day was trick-or-treater central.
Yeah.
And there aren't that many trick-or-treaters anymore, and there would be so many trick-or-treaters who their parents would pull up in the car and they'd get out of the car and run up to the house.
Yep.
That's what I got going on
and
now.
then run back to the car. And it's just like, man, in my day, and even up through like when I was a teenager and I'd hand out candy, the streets would be full. You couldn't walk in the streets. You'd be full. Now it's like, is it even Halloween night? Like, what's going on?
What is going on exactly?
And I think it's this craziness of you can't go out. You're going to get abducted and molested, or you're going to get poisoned candy.
It is.
We live in
and then of course
we live in a world of fear.
And then of course there's
Fear mongering.
And then of course there's all the religious stuff and it's evil and it's pagan and crap. It's just like, oh my god.
Fuck all that.
Why not just have a good time and not associate it with religion, for God's sakes?
I know.
Exactly.
If I understand correctly, Easter's was a pagan holiday too, but they'll still celebrate Easter.
The Satanic Panic got kind of pulled in with all that shit, right? I remember there was guys running, there were news reels back in the day of like this people that were like, oh, I was in a satanic cult and we ate babies on Halloween night and shit like that. Like it just got grouped up with all that stuff and.
Yeah.
So these guys are dressed up like Pulp Fiction guys in Pulp Fiction, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm being serious. Am I wrong?
Yes. No. You're correct.
Okay.
There. Yeah.
But
And
I mean, since I had kids, I've really been able to kind of embrace it again.
Yeah.
From the other side, So
I love it. I do the whole house up and I take the kids. Now, what sucks is where I live, the houses are really far apart.
Yeah.
So we get like maybe on a good year, we get 50 kids. Because it would be like you would go to another neighborhood where the house is really close before you would ever bother coming through here. But what is cool is one of the parents actually they take like a 4-wheeler and they hook a cart onto it and they take like a bunch of kids on the back of it, like until you get like 20 kids at once all of a sudden, and they just roll through the neighborhood and stuff like that. So there is some people that still embrace it around here. There's some really good decorators. There's a guy down around the bend. It is absolutely off the chain. So people are like, actually this year I would say more people are decorating than in past years I've noticed. So I'm hoping that, I don't know, there's a bit of a resurgence or something, because it's kind of a dying game. But
I gotta tell you this. Another thing that they do around here is they do these hay rides to turn people off to Halloween, like a religious hayride. I actually, no, seriously, I'm not joking. I went on one time, and I saw some of the most insane. There was one part where they stopped the cart. It wasn't. It was kind of like it was a haunted forest, but it was like, I committed adultery and I went to hell.
Oh my God!
I committed greed. And there was one where there was a woman. A woman was. She was supposedly burning in hell and crying out to her mother who was in heaven. And her mother was standing aside saying, well, I can't help you, honey. You're going to have to burn in hell because you didn't accept Jesus as your savior. And I'm just going, what in the... And there's like little kids on this thing with me.
Gotta love religion.
That was, I mean,
That is
like, for real.
intense.
That is some, and the girl was like screaming, "I'm burning, mommy! Help me! It hurts so bad, mommy!" And honey, I'm sorry, you did not accept Jesus, so you're not going to be here with me in heaven. You're going to burn in hell for eternity. I'm sorry, honey. Bye bye. It's just like, my God.
So the kids really enjoy that, huh?
I can imagine the kids being scarred for life after some crap
totally.
like that.
Yes.
Man. Jesus Christ.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But that's
You have to think, though. That is that the definition of heaven? That a parent knows that their child didn't go to heaven, although they might have been a great person, because they didn't accept Jesus.
Yeah.
So that's what heaven is.
So, yeah. I get in discussions about that a lot because I'm not very religious, but I'm gonna shut up because I don't want this to turn into a bad thing.
That
That's
hayride
why they-
story. Oh,
Go
that
ahead.
hayride story made me think of a picture I sent to Piz one time on Twitter of a public exorcism. All you can eat fried chicken for 50 cents.
That's not a Rob Zombie film.
It should
Oh
be.
man, that's his next one.
there was
It was in Kentucky, yeah.
there was a story. I don't remember what state it was in, but it was somewhere in the South. There was a kid who had autism, and the family and the preacher thought that he was possessed, and so they just performed all these exorcisms on him and basically killed him.
Oh, that's a shame.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, that's unfortunately that is still something that happens.
It's a shame, man.
Yeah.
The real monsters are us. There aren't monsters like Michael Myers out there. It's us.
Mm.
We are our own worst enemy.
The real monsters are Catholic priests.
Hey,
They are the real monsters.
I'm from New Orleans and I was raised Roman Catholic. I know.
Mm.
I've seen some of these bastards in action. It's no joke. There's this movie called The Spotlight. There's this movie called The Spotlight, and I love
Great
it because
movie. It deserved Best Picture.
Dude, wasn't it
100%?
wasn't
won,
it fantastic? Yes. It was fantastic, right? The movie was great.
A brilliant movie that more people need to see.
A ballsy movie
Absolutely.
because that's something people don't want to talk about. They just don't want to.
Of course not.
It's nothing new, though.
Of course not.
People used to make jokes about Catholic priests in the 70s.
Oh, yeah. Robin Williams.
Pedophilia's not like a good
I'm telling you that, Lauren, as a Catholic, though, I'm telling you, people don't like to talk about this stuff.
No, I'm Catholic. I don't like to talk about it.
It's been known forever.
I'm not saying it hasn't been known. My point is, like, I'm telling you, I'm Catholic. My parents, they don't like to acknowledge it.
Yeah.
They don't like to acknowledge it.
I understand, but what I'm saying is, how can we know something's going on for decades and it doesn't get addressed until very recently, and it's still going on after being addressed, and people are still okay. They're still okay with the organization.
That's the question. Why? That's what I want to know too.
Why?
If McDonald's managers were doing the same thing, would anyone shop at McDonald's?
Hell no. And it would be everywhere. It'd be on the news. You're right. I mean, it'd be nationwide. Unless wherever Piz is from, Kentucky. Kentucky is not loving it at the 348 McDonald's.
Well, we're watching a movie, right? Halloween Resurrection.
I was getting ready to say how dare we, take the attention away from this brilliant film. We are watching Halloween Resurrection. 2002's Halloween Resurrection.
All the found footage stuff in this movie, it would be great if when they're walking through this house, they just came across Heather Donahue randomly.
Oh, Bustin' Tyra getting down.
I wonder if they got along behind the scenes.
Oh, I'm sure they did. I'm sure they got along fabulously.
Well, they're probably like, oh yeah, we're gonna be movie stars. This is it. I mean, we're gonna be the highest paid actors in the world. This is
Yeah.
Imagine if The Rock had done this, because wasn't he just starting to get into movies at this time too? Scorpion King and all that.
Oh
Hey,
yeah.
just imagine, hey Michael, just bring it. You know, the stuff they could have done with The
If
Rock.
he just wrestled him for the entire like,
give Michael Myers to People's Elbow.
I would watch that.
Yeah.
I would.
When he rock bottoms, Michael Myers.
Rock bottoms, Michael.
You smell what he's cooking and everything.
Oh, good. Well, what American Pie Kid just got killed.
Yeah.
He just got.
It wasn't nearly brutal
He just
enough.
got baked.
Yeah.
His kills suck.
Yeah. Are there no
His kills
decent
suck. He
kills
puts
in
the
this
blade in his
movie,
head
even
and
on a
just-
slasher movie level?
There's,
Is there?
there's really not good kills. No, I was trying to think. Is there a good kill in this movie?
I mean, the peeping Tom nod was cool, but
I guess that was pretty much, and I mean that was lame because it didn't make any sense. But at least it was
right.
The
decent
one,
effect.
the one girl there gets her head chopped off by Michael with one single swing from his butcher knife, just a clean decapitation.
Yeah.
I don't know that you
The
could do that
Texas
with a
butcher
butcher
knife,
knife. I don't know that. I don't know that it has the
It
weight
takes-
to it.
It takes those guys forged in fire like 8 hacks with like a sword.
That show's crazy, man. Is that the show where the guys make their own knives and then cut through
They
things?
make their own knives, and then the guy goes up and he like hangs up a side of beef or like a pig, and he like cuts through it with the blade to like show how sharp it is and stuff. It's kind of messed up.
There's another show that the guys, they bring their own knives and then they just have to go through this whole like course of chopping things.
Yeah.
So you got to chop like 10 water bottles and then like a rope and then this other stuff.
Okay, this
It's-
one like there's like 3 tests, and there's 3 guys that do different tests, and one of the tests is the guy like cuts through stuff with it. Anyway,
Yeah, I've seen that one too. But
Yeah.
I mean, I realize that it's stupid, but it's kind of fun to watch.
okay, I like to watch. I if it's on TV and I'm kicking back, I always throw it on.
I watch a lot of trash TV.
Yeah.
Here's something I'm thinking about, guys. Somebody give me the answer. What if Michael would have went home and nobody was there?
Would have just sat there and died.
But he just sat there, Piz, for a year, and
Mission
said, and then the
complete.
next Halloween, what he said, let's go out
Yeah.
and see what's happening.
I think that may have made a more interesting movie than what we got here.
Probably.
Michael clipping coupons, making sure he saves at the supermarket.
No, well, I mean, look at it. I mean, look at it like this. I mean, Michael's job is done. He's killed his sister. There's nothing else for him to do. So, I mean, imagine him just like, imagine a sequence of him just like coming home and being like, just looking around, like not knowing what he's lost. And then
Well, in this scene, it suggests that he's been doodling around in coloring books.
Well,
And making weird baby toys.
Yeah, exactly.
What is this Toy Story? That Sid guy?
So there's in that very early cut of the film, there's this whole suggestion that the parents were like abusing him,
right.
and
Yeah.
but only little remnants of it still exist in the movie. Ugh.
Most of that stuff
This
was
movie's a
planted by
mess.
Dangertainment.
Yeah.
The best thing I can say about Resurrection is that it's not boring and there's plenty of eye candy. But that's about it.
There is some nice eye candy.
Yeah.
There is, yeah.
What I'd say about it is it actually, I mean, it understands the container the movie's in, and it works its drama correctly. It's just bad.
Yeah,
But it's not scattershot. It's not. It's
there's nothing memorable.
It's very focused. It's just makes bad decisions at every turn,
Yeah,
and the aesthetic stuck.
yeah. I mean, it's not a bad hook, the whole cam thing. It's not a bad hook at all. It's just, poorly executed. And there's just not a single memorable thing about this movie.
Is this the only Halloween film without any nudity?
Oh, there's nudity in this.
Is it?
Yeah.
There's a sex scene.
Just briefly, I think the red-haired girl there, just briefly.
Okay. Probably one of Harvey's stipulations, right?
I'm sure.
You need to show
Yeah.
teeth. Give the audience what they want. You have to show teeth.
I wonder how many of these women Harvey auditioned in his
I know.
hotel room with his,
You know,
Oh God,
thinking
no!
that.
Let's not go there. Can
It's-
we
I was
please
just
not
thinking
go
that.
there?
it probably happened, right?
Oh, no,
yeah.
no.
Poor Tyra.
No, not
Yeah.
Tyra. Tyra didn't have
Yeah.
to go through that, but I'm talking
I hope
about
not.
some of these other ladies, unfortunately.
Who knows though? I mean, he was pretty bold with a lot of A-listers.
Well, he was. He was. Yeah.
Well, here's my question, real quick, and I'm not asking this in a defensive way of the movie because I'm genuinely curious because I don't have an answer whatsoever. Y'all said that basically everything that this movie does is executed bad. What would you do differently? Because I'm genuinely curious because I have no idea what I would have done with this movie. Like honestly, I would love to know like if you guys had other ideas about things that you see that you would have changed. Would it be just the dialogue? Because did people really talk like that, or was that just is everything just okay? This is how Scream made these people talk. Let's do that. You know, that's what I want to know. Where's the real issue with this movie? Concrete issue.
I think. Well, I mean, it's. I mean, there's a lot of things wrong with this movie. I mean, it all starts with. I mean, just it's not a compelling story. It's not a good.
Yeah.
I think I don't know. I mean, just the whole.
And I would agree with that. Maybe the movie just shouldn't have been done because I love the ending of H2O. It's so this is the end. Boom, head cut off. So
I think maybe they had too many for a story like this. They needed fewer characters because it's confined inside this house. Although they make the house seem like it's a freaking mansion.
Yeah.
Fewer
They do.
characters, more of the. Most of it should have been told through their body cams or whatever. And stuff like this shouldn't have happened. I mean, but I don't know, I mean the characters just aren't good. Dialogue isn't good. It looks bad. It looks just like it looks super cheap, especially compared to H2O.
Mm-hmm. My theory is they were mainly concerned about bringing Michael Myers back to Haddonfield because H2O was, of course, in California. I mean, I think they were simply concerned about let's get him back to Haddonfield somehow, some way, no matter what the
Well, Larry Brand's the what he pitched to Dimension, the Akkads or whoever was War of the Worlds meets Halloween.
War of the Worlds meets Halloween.
Yeah, it's this lot. Everyone thinks people are watching this happen. The people are really being killed, but they all think it's just a show and that it's not real.
Basically, he watched Ghost Watch and just wanted to replicate that. It's what it is. It starts out fake and it turns out to be real because Michael really has to come back to the house.
Exactly, more or less, yes.
Yeah, but the big thing is, I'd say, if you ask the original question you asked, like what's wrong with it, is that we have no point of view character.
Right.
Yep. No protagonist.
okay.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be a protagonist, but we need someone whose eyes we see these events through.
Right.
And we keep shifting between Tyra Banks, the one girl who's obviously set up as some kind of a final girl.
Yeah, and she's completely no. I don't want to be mean here, but just no personality. Like I remember when this movie was being promoted originally, they were talking about why they cast her because they felt like she had a similar vibe to Jamie Lee Curtis. They felt like she was, whatever to Jamie Lee Curtis, but I mean, she's not there. There's nothing.
We're 15 minutes into this movie, and how many scenes has she been in?
Exactly.
We've seen her like 3 times. We're supposed to, expect and believe her to be the final girl and to care about her, but I haven't seen her on screen.
Yeah.
Like you guys said, it goes all over the place.
This scene right here, this is the fucking worst.
And
It is,
just
but
the worst.
And the other thing we have as a problem is that in any film you have to tell the audience what the exit is. What are we building towards? Right? So in the case of Halloween, the original Halloween, the body count thriller, yes, but because she has the kids in the house, she can't just run away, right?
Right.
So it becomes this whole thing it's a survival film. Here, any of these characters can walk out really at any point. They haven't done a good job of showing us how this should end. Like, what would make these characters survive it? Because the one thing they could do, the film refuses to allow them to do artificially.
Mhm.
So it's just full of
It's
scenes. It's just a movie full of scenes.
and it's aimless.
Yeah,
It's kind of like I said in the beginning. It's got that feel to like, you know, an editor just went in and there was just a bunch of scenes and he just had to cobble this thing together that was made out of reshoots and
See, what I've always wanted to see is like this would be ballsy and make no sense. But here's the thing: how many Friday the 13th movies actually took place on a Friday the 13th? There's forums about the real continuity, and let's just say most of them didn't. Let's see Michael the next freaking day. For God's sakes, you're gonna tell me this guy just wants to kill one day a year? I mean, it's a movie, sure, but like do something. You want to talk about ballsy? Do that. Show the bastard the next day. Next day.
That's what this movie could have been.
And that's what and keep him wherever he was in Cali on the previous movie. What about the son? You can't tell me that they did not approach the kid in H2O to say, hey man, this is your movie. He's coming after you now. Let's do that. Yeah. I'm sure he got approached, but that dude, I'm assuming he had a busy schedule, right? Yeah. And he just said, like they had to have. You can't tell me this was their made an idea, you know, like, oh, we're gonna do this movie, and I don't know.
Oh yeah, who played Jamie Lee's son again? What was his name from Black Hawk Down?
Josh Hartnett.
Yeah. Josh Hartnett, yeah.
And he was fun in H2O, right? I mean, I don't think people have a problem with him. So,
but he was probably busy doing Black Hawk Down.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he was a big deal for many years. You know, so I mean,
40 Days and 40 Nights. So
yeah, he was a big deal, man. I don't know what he's doing. I think what's that? He's on a show now. I forget what it's called. Or he was on a show. I can't remember. He was interviewed on the box set for H2O though. So I mean, he talked about, you know, the making of H2O and whatnot.
Was he pretty proud? I mean, because I haven't really watched it in a long time. He wasn't dismissive of the movie, was he?
Not that I recall.
Cool. This is kind of off topic, Piz, but I have to bring it up. Have you been keeping up with the Brian Andrews saga? Have you seen him on Facebook? It's embarrassing, man.
The last thing I saw was an Indiegogo to basically pay his rent, and pretty sad.
He's really saying vulgar things about Blumhouse and David Gordon Green. Now, Piz, I think we're kind of seeing why they don't want to work with this guy.
Well, that's a good possibility, yeah. The last I saw, again, he was somebody, quote unquote, not him, but somebody, which I'm sure was him, had set up a GoFundMe or whatever to get money, basically, so he wouldn't be homeless. But you know, I don't know what the deal is with that too. Oh, today is apparently Brian Andrews' birthday too. So happy birthday, Brian Andrews! I'm sure you're watching.
Oh,
see, Piz, this sequence isn't too bad. Like him coming through this little tunnel.
No.
The lighting's
There's
cool,
some
right?
Atmosphere. There's some atmosphere here.
Yeah. Like I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff.
But that Busta Rhymes scene where they were both wearing the mask and he just walks away from them.
Makes no sense, right?
What was the motivation for that? It makes zero sense.
Maybe Mikey was confused.
And I'm sure everybody was frothing. Just kill the guy already. Just kill him.
Right.
It's like it's the dumbest thing in the world.
Brian Andrews. I'm sorry. I mean, Brian Andrews.
It's okay.
He's not a fan of Rob Zombie.
Yeah, he's saying he's claiming he's a homosexual and stuff, and I'm just like,
really?
dude,
I'm not that far.
Yeah, it's petty. A lot of this, all the stuff he says is just something's wrong with the guy. I feel kind of bad for him, man. I hope he gets it worked out, whatever he's got, because it sounds like he's got bad financial trouble. But he's dogging all of them, man. It's unfortunate.
Now, I was going to ask this question during the commentary. Have you guys, aside from the two Halloween movies that Rick Rosenthal did, have you seen any of his other films?
The Birds 2.
Huh?
Land's End.
Yeah.
What?
The Birds 2, Land's End.
I think
he
he
did
used
that?
a fake. He did a fake name for it. I think he was embarrassed.
Oh.
I would
Yeah.
be too.
I was going to say, I think he
Bad.
hasn't done a lot of films, but I think the best one he's done is probably Bad Boys. And I'm not talking about the Martin Lawrence. No, the one with Sean Penn back in the early 80s where he plays a kid who gets into like reform school.
I've never seen that.
Yeah,
that was
it's,
good.
it's a good movie. It's definitely a good
Really
movie.
good.
But I will say my personal favorite Rick Rosenthal movie, and I just got it on Blu-ray a month ago, believe it or not. It's this little film that nobody remembers called American Dreamer with Jo Beth Williams from Poltergeist. It was her only starring role. And she plays a housewife who reads these mystery novels. Rebecca Ryan, a literary detective. She enters a contest. She wins 2 weeks in vacation to Paris. Of course, her husband doesn't want to go. So she goes by herself and she gets hit on the head. She gets knocked out by a car and she wakes up thinking that she's Rebecca Ryan, famous literary detective. And so it's like a screwball comedy. And, I think it's very underrated. But the reason why nobody remembers it and why it failed is because it was very similar to Romancing the Stone, where they would just substitute Paris for. And I actually, believe it or not, I actually had direct contact with Rick Rosenthal many years ago, asking him, "Hey, is there any way we can get an American Dreamer DVD?" And he said, "Oh, I'll look into that. Thank you." And then eventually we did get one. But anyway, that's my Rick Rosenthal story.
I got contacted by the star of an 80s movie that we all know and love that has not been brought to Blu-ray just yet. And he said, it's coming to Blu-ray next year, but I've got to keep it quiet. So this is one of the few remaining 80s movies that we all know and love that has not made the jump. It is making the jump next year.
Oh boy.
So, very excited.
I hope you're referring to Fade to Black, but I'm pretty sure that's not it.
No, not Fade to Black.
Damn it.
License to Drive.
Hey,
April Fool's Day.
April Fool's Day.
April Fool's Day will be on Blu-ray very soon. I promise.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you it will be. Guarantee you.
Yeah, probably.
So in essence, the Busta Rhymes and Michael saying it really just shouldn't have happened, right? Because as far as Busta being a Michael and then there might have been the actual Michael, that's not it's not a horrible concept. Like I think it's kind of okay. That scene just shouldn't have happened, more or less, right?
Mm.
Well, the way it played out shouldn't have happened.
Oh, there's Cameron.
Hello.
Cameron, what's up, man?
I think
Good.
Rambo's here, too.
Yeah. I just wanted to pop into and just kind
Oh,
of
shit.
answer some. I've been watching some of you guys and just thinking that.
You ever,
I think-
Rambo? What were you saying there, Cameron?
I think this film. I was going to say. I think there's two things about this movie. One is dimension. You know, when they released Scream, it's what Kevin Smith talks about, where he says, you got to go where the puck's going. You don't want to chase after the puck. When they released Scream, they set the course of where the rest of the 90s was going to go. Halloween Resurrection feels like they're chasing a fad rather than setting a new fad. And the other big problem
Absolutely.
I have with it is every Halloween film, whether you like them or don't like them, I think that they're each pretty substantial as films, and the biggest sin about this film is it feels like a placeholder to just hold the rights to make another film. It feels like they didn't have an idea for it yet, so they just made a film like they did with the Hellraiser films, although this one got a theatrical release, and then they couldn't figure out where to go after this one, so they just rebooted the whole thing. And so I think that it's ridiculous to like H2O has like an ending, whether you like it or not. It has an ending, and then this movie comes out, and again, it leaves you just kind of like, huh? And then they reboot it again, just like they did with at the end of Halloween 6. Like, let's just reboot it and bring back Jamie Lee Curtis and change the timeline again.
Right.
So it's just like it feels like an unnecessary film, no matter how you look at it. Like, can you watch it?
Makes perfect sense.
Can you watch it? Sure. Can you tolerate it? Sure. But is it a film that you think is necessary in the franchise? I don't think so.
Rambo.
No
Wrath.
arguments here.
Rambo, how's it going, buddy?
Doing well. Am I coming out all right audio wise?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yep.
No, I think that was a decent.
Try and get this situated. How are you guys doing today, other than watching this?
Well, considering what we have watched, I'm doing better.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes, we know, Mike.
It's not. It's not definitely not the greatest film in the world, but it's so bad it's good.
It's Buster Rhymes.
I think we talked more about the Rob Zombie movies than this.
Yeah, I'll take the Rob
We gotta get
Zombie
Rambo
movie any day of
timestamp.
the week.
Well, what is there
At least
really
he had
to
a
say
vision.
about this movie? It's this. I mean, this movie, if anything, it's bland. You know,
Yes.
there's nothing to say about it. It honestly does not even feel like Rosenthal directed this movie. It feels like a by committee film.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it probably.
Yeah, exactly.
That's probably what it was,
Yeah.
Very
Oh
little
yeah,
of it
absolutely.
and that's why the execution is horrible.
Come on, Buster Rhymes
It
is,
was a decent idea.
Buster Rhymes
There's some
is the
decent
best
scenes in it.
character in the entire franchise. You know this.
It's a bold statement from Rambo
Oh
Wrath.
God.
I mean, at least LL Cool J in H2O is like a real character. I mean, Buster Rhymes is like,
Yeah.
it's a joke.
But he's the creator of Dangertainment. Come on.
No one was going to go through this production and come out looking good. It wasn't going to happen. But I will say this: like, I'm not actively hating watching this, like I was with the Rob Zombie.
Yeah, me either, man.
It's bad. It's bad in all kinds of ways. But you know what? I'm not getting angry. My blood pressure is not rising. This is disrespectful in a way that was at some point well-meaning, but far in the rearview mirror. The zombie films are just painful.
Well,
And I
I
don't
feel
feel
bad.
coated
disagree.
in
I disagree.
excrement.
and what I will say about this one, again, the best thing about it, 90 minutes.
Yes.
90 minutes.
That's the one advantage it has over the zombie films. It's 89 minutes.
But they got like, I mean, Dimension, you know, they kind of pressured their actors. Like you have that guy from The Last Dance showing up in this movie. It's like, okay, listen,
God.
you owe us 2 films on your contract. You're showing up in this movie. Like they didn't have a choice, you know.
No, the depiction of Michael Myers on screen
Well, so you
is
don't
not
have-
bad. The mask is not terrible. I mean, there are.
You don't.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know. I don't hate this film.
I
as
dig the
much
mask. I got a
as the
replica of
previous
it.
two.
I kind of like the mask a lot, actually. I think it's pretty cool. It's got just enough expression.
You don't
but
like.
not
You don't
too
have
much.
Michael Myers looking like a hobo ready to praise Jesus.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's no homeless Michael Myers in this. He's not 8 feet tall. Again, I don't feel like I'm coated in excrement watching it.
I can't think of the stunt guy's name.
I'd rather take the
played
white
Michael
horse.
here,
I'm
but
sorry.
I do think he did a pretty good job.
I think it's Nick Leray, French guy.
Yeah, Brad Leray. Yes. A French Canadian.
Brad Leray, sorry.
Yes, a French Canadian, no less.
And now that all the annoying people are dead, you have that relationship with the girl and the kid at the party, and he's trying to help her out by telling her where he's at. There was some good ideas in this area, and it's decent. I'm not gonna say it's good, but I don't know. It adds an extra element to it.
This is a kind of a random question, but it's got me wondering. Does
Something.
anybody know why Nick Castle did not come back to do part 2? Because he couldn't have been that busy.
Was he directing at that point? Well, I don't know when he started his directing career, but
He was, well, they were writing Escape from New York, but
Yeah.
I mean, the Carpenter did show up. You know, when Carpenter showed up to do the reshoots, he should have just brought Nick Castle with him and just done the reshoots.
Yeah.
with him.
Like, why didn't he come? Like, I'm wondering that because I don't. Somebody needs to ask him that because I don't know if it's ever been talked about. It's just we know that Dick Warlock said, "Hey, let me do it," and then Rick was like, "Okay." Like, did Rick not say, "Okay, where's Nick at?" You know what I'm saying? Like, did that? I don't know. I'd like to know.
Honestly, back then, I don't think they didn't. I don't think they really thought about continuity. I mean, until Robert Englund played Freddy, they thought they could just get another actor to play Freddy. I mean, in Freddy's Revenge, they got another actor at first, and then had to fire that person and bring in Robert Englund back. So,
that's even that the recasting of Freddy makes no sense because you're still using a guy's bone structure under latex. But with Michael, I mean, I can understand it because it's just a pullover mask. But I don't know, it's just weird. I wouldn't be surprised if Nick Castle probably had no idea the movie was made till it came out. You know.
Well, also, if you watch the special features of Halloween 2, like even Tommy Lee Wallace like was offended by the script of Halloween 2. So maybe there was like an inner John Carpenter like circle where they're just like, well, if we're not doing it, we're not doing it. You know.
You gotta remember, guys.
It might have been a question of loyalty.
These films were looked at in an entirely different light at the time. You know, all of them, right back to the second film. These were paychecks. These weren't made because there was some divining art behind them. Yeah. Now, I'm not putting the films down because I love the original and I love the second film almost equally. But I got to tell you, like, we look at them from a different light. The people involved, they were happy to move on to the next thing. Yeah. And especially if the pay wasn't going to be better.
Carpenter was just happy to have a job. It was originally called The Babysitter Murders, and he just wanted to make the best movie possible so he could get another gig. You know, he didn't. You know, he wasn't thinking franchise or series. He was thinking, okay, that one's done. Now I got another idea I want to do. Well, if you want to do that idea, you're going to have to write this next movie. Well, I don't want to do that movie. You know, there was a big argument between him and the studio. He didn't want to do Halloween 2. He wanted to move on to other things.
He got sued. Erwin Yablon sued him, and I mean, he like was court ordered to write the script for Halloween 2.
Yeah, I guess I guess my thought process was I totally agree with Lauren. He's right. I notice directors use the same people for a lot of movies, which I'm assuming was Nick ever in something again with John, because John clearly liked to use a lot of the same actors for some movies, not every movie, but
I don't think so.
I'm curious.
No, because he went on to do. He started directing soon after.
Hold on, guys.
I don't think Nick ever wanted to be an actor. He was just happened to be there.
Hold on, guys. There's a lot of love for Bucky from Halloween 4 in the chat right now. So I wanna mention the love for Bucky in the chat right now. So, Viva la Bucky.
Don't you even think about moving?
Yeah. Don't you even think about
motherfucker.
moving.
Here we go.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah.
So you want to
Here's a karate fight. Here we go.
Here we go.
Turn up your volume.
Oh my God.
I remember gagging at the scene in the theater.
You know Brad Larray is laughing his butt off under that mask too.
Man, straight to the dome.
Especially if he's looking at Busta Rhymes. You know Brad's laughing.
I would love to watch this sequence with John Carpenter and like a joint. You know what I mean? Can you imagine what Carpenter would say about this sequence? Like, what? You know.
What if he put it over? Like, what if he's like, man, I love this.
Well, to be fair, he might be like, is this an outtake from Ghosts on Mars?
Listen.
Ghosts
of Mars.
Did they?
10
what you gotta do is you gotta take a drink. You gotta take a shot every time they dissolve.
Well, 10 years from now, Ghosts of Mars is going to be reanalyzed, and it will be recognized as the masterpiece that it is.
Nope, it will not.
You're right.
The remake of Assault on Precinct 13.
Guys, we've got a full house. I think this may be the biggest Sausage Factory turnout we've ever.
I wouldn't be surprised if it. Yeah.
Jeez.
How many rounds?
Really?
Packed house.
I'm rocking it out here tonight. I'm surprised we've had. I mean, everybody's showing up here for Halloween Resurrection. It's like a party for Resurrection, celebrating Resurrection tonight. Jeez.
Trick or treat, motherfuckers.
Oh, jeez.
Well, everybody waited till the coast was clear, and we slogged through those other pieces of shit. They're like, okay, we'll do Resurrection.
All right, Mike.
Did we all see this one in the theater?
No, I did not.
I did, yes.
To see
I did not.
Theater.
Yeah.
Through those other pieces.
There was 3 people in the theater.
I regret wasting
opening day.
I'm glad I did not see it in the theater because, like I said at the beginning of the show, this movie came out on my 22nd birthday, and I had plans of going and watching it in the theater, and I luckily got out of it. So
What about Jason X, Biz? You saw Jason X in the theater, huh?
Nope, I sure
Hey.
didn't.
Biz?
Nope. I saw a bootleg of that movie about 2 years before it came out in the theater.
I was gonna say I didn't see it in theater because of the bootleg getting nabbed.
Well, Biz, I'd be careful.
Oh wow.
Cops gonna show up at your house now, Biz. They ain't forgot about that.
Hey, you know what? When I was talking with Todd Farmer, who wrote Jason X, he asked me, he said, "When did you see the movie?" And I said, "Don't kill me, but someone at my work brought me a bootleg of it." And he goes, "Oh, don't worry about it. This was the most bootleg movie up until that time." So,
It's kind of shocking that, I mean, that was, how did like a big studio movie like that big studio movie, I'm sorry. But, I mean, it was still a studio film. How did it just leak out like that? I mean, how did it, and it wasn't like it was a bad copy either. I mean, the bootleg that I recall getting was good quality.
no, there was no time code on it, and it was being passed around on VHS.
Yeah.
Just like the R. Kelly tapes.
Oh.
Too long.
Jason.
It sat at the studio on the shelf for too long. Too many people just wanted their work seen.
Yeah, I really do think that someone in the studio leaked it on purpose to have that clean of a cut.
Yeah.
Was it the same version they put out in theaters?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wasn't even aware it existed.
Yeah. And
I remember I didn't know
So I saw
you
it in the
could
theater.
download movies like that, like full length movies. I remember I went over to my buddy's house and he's like, "Hey, I got this Jason X movie. Let's watch it." I was like, "What the how?" Like I couldn't believe that. And he downloaded it and we watched it. Yeah,
I was already off Napster at that point. They had already kicked me off because I had a Metallica song.
Oh, you made that mistake.
And that's the last time
You
I
just
bought
switched
a
to Kazaa.
Metallica album.
I don't blame
Coming
you.
out the sewers. What is this, Chud?
Oh, if he ran into a chud, that would be the most amazing thing ever.
Oh man, Michael versus Bud
Right?
the Dud.
And John
What was
Goodman
it,
was too.
versus in there?
Hey,
Michael.
I
do
know.
you guys remember what CHUD is acronym for?
Cannibalistic humanoid underground dweller.
Cannibalistic humanoid underground.
Underground dwellers. Yep.
Chemically hazardous underground disposal. Get it right. If you watch the movie, you know the truth.
Why hasn't there been a Chud 3 is the real question.
What worse than the actual of the Chud? Jesus Christ.
Because Bud the Chud was
Judd
such a
2 failed?
masterpiece.
Why wasn't there a Gate 3?
Gate 2 was shit. That's why.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting on Waxwork 3. I mean, come on.
Oh, jeez.
Waxwork 2 was good, though.
Yeah. I enjoyed watching those.
It used to be very difficult for those direct-to-video features to get over onto television and other licensing. It just made it was hard. There was a lot of product out there, but none of it really had an afterlife. So it was hard to convince anyone to go for a third and fourth films in a lot of those cases.
Here's
Was
a
that like Artisan or someone?
here's a question
Yeah,
from
poor
the
Artisan.
chat. Question from the chat. Myers and Voorhees wants to know, what's worse, Halloween Resurrection or Jason X?
That's not even a question.
Halloween Resurrection.
I would
Halloween
easily
Resurrection.
Jason
pick
X.
Halloween Resurrection.
I can watch
Jason
Jason
X
X.
is way more interesting than this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jason X,
I'm loving this right now, by the way.
Jason X
I'm
is
loving
an
this
incredible
movie.
film.
I love that she has a chainsaw right now. This is the most exciting thing that's happened for sure.
Well,
Jason
real
X.
quick.
It's
Oh.
about to get even
I just
more
want to say,
exciting.
Jason X is a. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I know.
Jason X
I
is
know.
stupid fun to me. Like I like Jason X. I don't think it needs any
too.
awards, but I have
Me
no
too.
problem saying I love
think-
watching Jason X.
But see,
It's so fun. I love Kane Hodder. I still think he's such a badass in that movie. I love
here's-
Jason X.
Here's
And
one of
I
the
give
things.
the
Here's one
cred,
of the
Jenna.
things that's wrong about this movie that we just kind of talked over the perfect a perfect moment of this was the thought process that went into this movie. She ran out of the closet with the chainsaw, saying, "This is for Sheila. This is for Terry. This is for Bob." All the people. I mean, who
You barely
thought
met
that
these
was
people.
cool? I mean, what is
Yeah.
who wrote that?
Oh, it got
Todd
her.
Farmer-
She ran out of gas, threw her chainsaw at him. Somehow the whole room's lit up on fire, and she can't move because she's got like a PA system stuck on her leg.
fact-
It's just
The fact that Todd Farmer.
She got a 5-channel mixer on her thigh.
I can't move. There's too many cords.
Let me Borderline
the
11
fact that
said a
Todd
very
Farmer put.
Borderline 11 said a very nice thing in the chat. He says, Piz, Barry, Rambo, and DVD collector 1974 made me the cinephile I am today, as well as a convention goer. That's very nice, Borderline.
The fact that Todd Farmer put a reference to Beowulf in Jason X makes that 1,000 times better than this.
Here comes Buster. Get him, Buster. Get him.
There it is.
Get
him.
I'd rather watch it.
And here we go. Here we go. Oh my God. There. Oh my.
Michael's like, oh my God.
I'm
This
still
was
pissed off at Michael
controversial.
for
I'd
not
rather watch
killing them the
this than
first
last
time.
movie. I'm serious.
Oh shit!
You know he is laughing under that mask.
He's probably smiling at least.
Wait.
Oh, he's
Rambo, can you repeat that louder?
I said I'd rather watch this than 2018's bullshit
Thank you, sir.
movie.
Thank
I said
you,
if Mike dropped goodbye.
Oh.
Thank you, sir.
No, I'm just saying. I'd rather watch at least this kind of something new. I appreciate it more than Halloween's greatest hits.
Right in his
Am I not
balls.
succeed?
At least to try to go away from the.
All right, what's better, Halloween 2018 or Jason X?
Oh, come on. Are
Absolutely.
we at that shit already?
Not even close.
What is Todd Farmer doing today? Roland666 wants to know. He actually, there's a new movie
He's
from
chilling.
him and Patrick Lussier out now called Trick. The trailer
Trick,
actually,
yeah, is it out?
trailer actually looks pretty good. It's doing like some kind of limited little theatrical thing, and I'm sure it's.
I've heard bad reviews, but
Oh, really? Okay. I thought the trailer looked.
But I love the idea. I
promising.
love the idea that those two are
I'll check it out.
I love those two are still working together, though. I mean, you would think after like Drive Angry tanked, they would want to split ways, but they stay
I
together.
like Drive
I
Angry.
love Drive Angry.
Drive Angry was great. Yeah.
Yes, but it made $5 million its opening
Well,
weekend.
Yeah.
Hey,
Don't
what's
credits hate
better,
both slasher films?
Ginger Dead Man versus Evil Bong 2 or Jason X?
Jason X.
I don't know. Ginger Dead Man's pretty tight.
I don't know. I can get 8 of those for like
Gary Busey,
for like
fuck
$5
yeah.
at Walmart, and Jason X has still got to pay full price. So
That's right. I gotta make up that money, bro.
I cannot think of Drive Angry and not see Nicolas Cage going to town on that chick while killing everybody around him. I mean, just that is brilliant.
Well, let me tell you something. When I talked to Todd Farmer, he said to me, Drive Angry was conceived to be a low-budget film, and it was going to star, oh my God, I'm totally blanking on his name. The guy from Night of the Creeps.
Tom Atkins, yeah.
What's his name?
Yeah.
Tom Atkins
Tom
was going to play
Atkins?
Nicolas Cage, and Betsy
Fred
Rue.
Decker?
Yeah, and Betsy Rue, the naked girl from My Bloody Valentine, was going to play the Amber Heard character.
Mm.
That's an infinitely better movie, I think,
I agree.
because it would have been, it would, yeah. But the studio
So
wouldn't
it
allow
went
it.
off the rails when Cage was cast?
Cage was cast, and the budget went up $40 million.
Yeah, the budget went up big time. Yeah.
Michael Myers.
Why does it look like it's toilet? It looks like it's toilet paper wrapped around Buster's arm. Like, could we not got something better, like prop for this? Like, it looks so. And then the blank, expressionless looks on the reporters. They're just holding out the microphones, looking at Buster. Like, I can't believe we got to interview this dude.
Hey. Michael Myers is a killer shark in baggy ass overalls, man. Like, what the fuck? Who wrote this shit?
That's improv.
I'm telling you,
Okay, all right.
Oscar.
Piz, why did they not take this guy's mask off? Like, when do they ever take the mask off the guy? For God's sakes, take his mask off.
Well,
They put him in a bag. Put him in a bag with the mask,
They
Piz.
did to the wrong guy.
They did it when he was in jail in Halloween 5.
Oh.
And they put him in jail. That's right.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Well, at the beginning of the film, they took the mask off at the inappropriate time.
yeah, at H2O they ripped
Does
it off the
anybody
dead
on
guy's head.
set say that? Yeah, with no gloves.
The biggest sin
Chicken
is that
fried, motherfucker.
the biggest sin is that Michael Myers did not kill Busta Rhymes. That is the biggest sin of this movie.
And I think you're kind of waiting for that moment too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
wow.
exactly.
You're gonna be waiting a long
And it never
time. You're gonna be
comes.
waiting a long time.
I wonder if that was part of the contract, is that I get to kick Michael Myers' ass, but he doesn't get
It'd
to
be
touch
funny
me.
if the reveal it was Michael Myers as Michael Myers.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised.
What if it was Busta in a body bag? That would have been a great ending.
That would have been, yeah.
They swapped. Michael put a Busta Rhymes
That
mask
makes a
on.
lot more sense.
Like
Trick or Treat Studios, Michael Busta Rhymes mask.
So
Yeah, it makes
That's
me
not
wonder
the same mask.
because he was coming off Shaft when he did this. So it makes me think of if Sam Jackson had played Creighton Duke. You know, I don't think Jason Goes to Hell would have been buried for so long.
That is kind of creepy.
Yeah,
that
it's true.
mask burnt up like that.
it's so weird that this.
Yeah, it would
is
have been
how
cool to see
the
another movie
proper
with him in that
franchise-
mask.
Ugh.
the original continuity kind of ends here. I mean, if
Yeah.
you're taking this, if you're taking
Yeah.
4 and 5 out of the and 6 out of the equation and making a through line, it's just a really weird place to end this series.
I don't think it was supposed to end because when they went to Rob Zombie, they asked him to follow up Resurrection, not reboot it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, they even
Ugh.
they couldn't have even
I have
done
a-
anything original with the credits. They just used the Scream font for the credits. I mean,
Yeah.
good God.
Like I said, there's not one
have a
single
new-
memorable thing about this.
newfound appreciation
For Busta Rhymes, you have a newfound appreciation for Busta Rhymes, Jay?
for this movie.
Bus a bus.
That's
Why
Busta
didn't he
Rhymes.
become
That's
a
a
bigger
bu-
star, right?
This is a Busta Rhymes film.
I already loved Busta Rhymes before this.
Yeah.
Mm.
I follow him on Instagram. He actually does. He's a funny guy. He's actually really funny.
I'm sure he is, but
How does he feel about this movie?
He
and
did,
that's
yeah.
the thing. It's not him. It's his character. It's
Hey.
it's his character. It's how it's written. It's
I mean,
shit.
And maybe he's just not cut out to be an actor. I mean, maybe that too.
Ice
I don't know. Yeah.
Ice
I
Cube
digress.
came out against John Carpenter after Ghosts of Mars. Did Busta Rhymes? How does he feel about this movie?
I bet Busta Rhymes thinks.
I think
this is
he-
the
he's
greatest
probably
horror
proud of
movie
it.
Ever.
He probably is.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure he loves it.
Yeah.
Well, there it is, or there it was. There was our Halloween Resurrection live commentary.
There it was.
It feels like it's over way too quick after the
Yeah.
epics that were the Rob Zombie films. But yeah, that's one of the good things about this movie. It's a brisk 89 minutes, and then it's done. So, oh geez, where to even begin with Halloween Resurrection? Ryo, your thoughts on Halloween Resurrection?
You know what? I think as painful as it was to watch like the Rob Zombie ones, we had a little bit more to talk about. Like I feel like we talked about everything but this movie for most of it.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's I don't know, like I kind of had a better memory of it when I watched it here, though. The kills are kind of bland. There is some kind of elements to the story that could have been good but weren't executed properly, and the movie overall just ended up being, I almost preferred Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. At least it had some pretty good kill scenes. I mean, I kind of hated the characters, but it had something on the screen. Like this was kind of, I don't know, I was just kind of sitting there watching it like, what's the payoff here? I mean, and then the end of it, you're right. They have a scene where Busta Rhymes walks up and talks to Michael, pokes him and everything, and then you don't even get the payoff of him like killing him later or something like that. Instead, he ends up kicking his ass all over the map, right? And the final character there, I can't remember her name. Like what an awful execution of that too.
Yeah.
You don't even know who she is, and then all of a sudden you got to root for her in the end, and all she's doing the whole time is looking at her phone. It's kind of meta. Like now, like people be like she's just constantly on her PDA. This guy's, I love it. I love the scene at the end where like everyone's safe and the guy gets up and he's like high fiving everybody at the party, like you, like it's just so lame. I don't know. I don't have a lot of good to say about this one for sure. We joked about never watching some of the other ones again, but I can't imagine watching this one again.
Yeah. Like I said, this is the first and only time that this disc is going to be in my player. So yeah, it's going back in the box set and back on the shelf where it will forever stay.
Because this has a one star picture quality on Blu-ray.com.
Exactly. Cameron, your thoughts on Halloween Resurrection?
Like a lot of bad horror films in the late 90s, early 2000s, like it's hard for me to get angry at it today as I was back then. Like I feel like those films have kind of aged in a way that are non-offensive to me. Is it watchable? Yes. Is it easy it's easy on the eyes, but it's not one that I would recommend to people check out. I mean, it's a lot easier to take than some of Rob Zombie stuff, but I don't know. I mean, it's like you said, like I'm not offended to have it in my collection, but I think it's the weakest of all the ones up until that time.
Yep. Let's see. Lauren, thoughts on Halloween Resurrection?
I think the series that really, I mean, this is a series that climaxed with its first 2 films, and afterwards there's a lot of bad, but there's a lot of guilty pleasure bad. This got to the point where it's not really guilty pleasure bad, it's just kind of bad. But that said, I don't find it painful. I don't find it particularly insulting. It's just it's just that time period, that post Scream, pre Postal kind of Malay, where the whole horror genre kind of had no direction. It feels recycled, even though the ideas are fairly new, which is curious. But it's a mess, and it's studio tampering at its finest. I'll probably watch it a few more times in my life for some ungodly, unreasonable reason, but which is more than I'll say about the zombie films. I'm not going to break this copy, but it's bad, and it doesn't help the Halloween legacy that there's now more films I don't like than do.
The real question is that a pink Strat over there to your side?
It is not a pink Strat. That would be a orange Squire.
It looks
So
it looks pink
it's
in
a
the light.
Strat made in Mexico.
Okay,
It is orange.
Okay. But I was going to say if it was pink, I mean that's cool.
I'm not secure enough to own a pink guitar.
I understand. Many aren't. B-Movie Mike, your thoughts on Halloween Resurrection?
Well, I think we all know it's a bad flick. I mean, you're not going to convince anybody it's a masterpiece. I have fun with it. I definitely would reach for others first. Like, well, I agree with Lauren. The first 2 are, to me, the best Halloween films. And every Halloween, I'd watch 1 and 2 back to back. And I don't know. I don't consider this one to be the worst of the bunch. Definitely not the best. I don't know. It's you guys were talking about. It's just kind of bland and blah, and it's just kind of there. But it has some good points to it, but not enough to save it. As far as saying, "Oh, that was a great flick." I mean. I don't know. It's not at the bottom, but it's not at the top. It's somewhere in the middle. It's just kind of there, though. I mean, I'll keep it in the collection. This is the first time I've watched it in a long time, and it'll probably be a long time before I watch it again. I'd rather watch 1, 2, or 3. Those are usually my go-tos. 3 is a standalone thing on its own. Enjoy it for what it is. But I would watch this before I would watch the 2 previous films that we quote unquote enjoyed, and even the one from last year. I would rather watch this one. That's just not saying much though, because I'll never watch those other ones again. So it's not very high praise. I enjoyed watching it with you guys. I agree there wasn't really much to talk about watching it. It's a quick watch. Good ideas, bad execution. Michael Myers was decent, as far as his portrayal on screen. The mask was decent. With the music and that, it felt somewhat like a Halloween film, but somebody brought up the 90s and early 2000s as being a really weird period of time, and it does definitely remind me of that era. And that's part of the weakness of H2O, but H2O is a better film. I don't know. I know some of you guys like 5. I can't really say where 5 is any better than this to me, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean. I don't know. It's somewhere in that region, but I don't know. I had fun watching it with you guys, and I will in the future, if I live long enough, watch it again.
We do have some people in the chat asking us to do a Halloween 5 30th anniversary commentary, but we handled the Thorn trilogy. Which ones?
No.
We did 4, 5, and 6 for
Yeah, we watched
our fundraiser marathon for our buddy Chris. Yeah,
in one night.
Yeah.
In one night.
Yeah.
And then we
did we do the producer's cut that night, or did we do that as a separate?
I believe I fell
'Cause I know-
asleep during that.
We did the producer's cut later.
Yeah, we did the producer's cut as a separate one. Yeah. Yeah. Rambo, your thoughts on Resurrection?
Who?
That would be you, sir, Rambo.
Oh, okay. Well, considering I did not watch this film tonight because I was at work and I just got here, so racking my brain with what Resurrection was. It is a flawed film, but I could watch it as a fun waster. My main problem is the beginning, which is total bullshit, and one of the worst explanations in horror film history. But I think if you took the beginning off and made this a prequel to Halloween H2O, I actually think it would work better. There are elements I liked. I liked some of the lighting. I liked some of the kills. I appreciate the camera stuff. It felt different. I mean, it has. I would rather watch this than 5 or 6 or the Rob Zombie movies. I think if you chop up the first 10 minutes, I think it's a typical, at times bloody time waster slasher film. With some, I thought some pretty lighting decent in the house, and I liked the setup. So, Busta Rhymes, maybe I'm laughing at him, but I'm still enjoying him in that manner. And you trick or treat, is a fun line that makes me laugh, and that was more than some movies do. There's a lot of movies that made me feel nothing, so I give credit to that. I'm not saying it's a great movie or anything. It has a lot of flaws, but as a time waster, I've seen so much worse. I mean, Final Exam for a slasher film like that one is, or some other, like from back in the day, was about as boring as watching paper, or at least some shits and giggles.
Yeah, there you go. Let's see. Stingray, Christian, you guys want to throw in your 2 cents when it comes to Resurrection?
Yeah, I'll go. I feel like I can get enjoyment out of any of the Halloween movies at least a cellular level. I was sad I couldn't be here for the the Rob Zombie ones. I know Piz knows this and Lauren clearly knows this. I like the Rob Zombie films. I have no dog in the fight. And I don't want to defend it because I just like them, but I like Rob Zombie films in general. But with like a movie like Resurrection like this, I think one of the best ways to watch this movie is the way we kind of did it tonight, as a social thing, as all of us just kind of having fun, joking, not having to hone in on the movie so much. So I think this was the most enjoyable time I've ever had with Halloween Resurrection because it was a social thing. It was fun, and we just laughed and had a good time. And dare I say that some people probably enjoyed the movie like that back in the day too, just a bunch of friends getting together, just looking to have a good time. So that's the way I can appreciate Halloween Resurrection, the way we watched it tonight.
Okay, fair enough.
That's all I got.
Fair enough. Stingray?
Let's see, we got bad writing, bad acting, forgettable characters, with the exception of Busta Rhymes, which I'm glad he took some time off from the Flip Mode Squad to do this. Because I think he makes the film really. I mean, he makes it memorable. I mean, it's fun to make fun of and everything, but I like the webcam stuff. I think the cell phones and everything, it really dates it. It's like a time capsule type movie, but for nostalgia purposes, I kind of enjoy it for that. As bad as it is, I will be watching it again, and it's way better than I remember. Like, I mean, the kills are terrible. Like, the kills are really, not very creative at all. There's not enough gore. The mask is kind of shitty. But that being said, it's better than Rob Zombie films.
It's also better than another Dimension film that they would try, Hellraiser Hellworld, that tries to do the same thing.
Oh God, let's not even. Maybe that's how we'll.
Evil. When the tagline "Evil" goes online.
maybe that's how we'll kick off season 9 is with some Hellraiser live commentaries for. I mean, I don't know, man. Those are really bad movies.
Jesus.
Well, Master of Horror, Scott Derrickson.
Yeah, man.
Did part 5.
You really get going. It's like, man, 3 was pretty bad, but what do we have next?
Oh,
And
Jesus.
nope, I'm not watching the next 9 movies.
Gosh. Stone, did I don't think I asked you your final thoughts on Resurrection.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it in the theater, and I think a lot of other people, I was pissed off at the fact that they just killed Laurie Strode. But you know what? I'm over that. I've long since over that because unlike all the other ones, this is the one that actually gets away from Laurie Strode. And actually, for better or for worse, it tries something different. But look, I mean, you know, I know how much you guys hate the zombie films, but you know what? I'm sorry. Rob Zombie is Ingmar Bergman compared to this fucking shit, okay? And I say that with just, look, at least Zombie had a vision. At least he put his own stamp on it. This one, like somebody else said, it just felt like committee. It just, if they had cut out the Laurie Strode stuff and just focused on the webcam stuff and toned down Busta Rhymes and actually eliminated his character, I would probably enjoy it more as a guilty pleasure, but I can't even enjoy it on that level. That being said, the extra features on the DVD and the Blu-ray are decent. You know, they're not a waste of time, and I don't feel the need to destroy this movie or like Piz go to Busta Rhymes at a convention and just chuck it in his face or whatever. You know, I don't feel the need to do that. It's forgettable. It's forgettable, and I would say at this point just inoffensive, aside from the Weinstein stuff, which, you know, I didn't like going there, but at the same time, I mean, it's kind of sad and sick.
Yeah,
that's all I have.
I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I'll stick with it. I think the lowest point in the Halloween series, and there's been low points. Busta Rhymes Kung Fu Michael Myers is the lowest. It's the lowest of the low, lowest of the low.
Yes, yeah.
That to me is a million times more insulting than anything Rob Zombie did with the character. And I'll even play devil's advocate.
Yes.
I will, well, not that you're the devil, Stone, but I'll meet you halfway in that as bad as Zombies movies are, he at least,
in a way,
he at least, he put his,
Just stop right there, Piz. He at least.
there you go,
he put
exactly.
a lot of effort into him.
He at least. This
Put a lot of effort into
He
him.
at least.
This movie doesn't even have an at least. This movie is just that's it. It's but
this movie has no effort.
It's 89 minutes and it's over. So I'll give it that. It's 89 minutes. And and it's a great movie to play in the background while
Rob
you're talking
Zombie put
about
some rock
other
and
stuff.
roll in there, brother.
So it was a great movie to watch in the background while we talked about other things. So but yeah. Anyway, so that was Halloween Resurrection. And oh god. Anyway,
I had fun.
we did have kind of an interesting.
Look,
we did have an interesting sort of banter in the comments. Originally, what we had intended to do next week is to give you guys our list of deep cuts or deep tracks for your Halloween night watching enjoyment. You know, not the usual, you know, I mean, how boring is it to watch Halloween on Halloween? Instead of watching Halloween on Halloween, let's watch, I don't know, Fulci's Gates of Hell. You know, let's give you some deep tracks. Let's give you some some different kinds of horror movies to watch on Halloween night. And we can do that for you guys. Or, since there's been so many people in the chat asking for an H2O live commentary, and I'll pose this to the panel as well. Do you guys want to do our Halloween movie recommendations, the deep tracks, or do we want to do H2O live commentary? So what do you guys on the panel think? What do you guys in the chat think? We'll hold a democratic election here.
I vote for Halloween recommendations.
Okay, that's
I
one.
think we've kind of done something like that before, haven't we?
I think we've done shows where I think we kind of have, but I mean, that was a long time ago. Maybe we've got new deep tracks.
Shut up, Mike. He's going to make us watch H2O.
Piz, I know I'm only on the show every now and again, and I'll still say this though, man. This is your thing, but I always say, dude, give the people what they want. You want your audience to have a good time. Give them what they want. They want H2O.
Well, I think I may have opened up a whole new can of worms because now a couple of people are saying they want both next week. So,
Oh God,
Can't swing both.
I never make.
Well, you can talk about it during the film.
okay, so I'm gonna. I should have created a poll. What do you think, Raho?
Maybe do a poll on Twitter.
Why don't we do our
We can.
Okay, that's
Next week.
or we could do Halloween
commentary. There you go.
Halloween recommendations over H2O.
Is everyone forgetting that last time we had anything sort of democratic, we ended up watching the zombie movies?
Oh God.
I have a question actually, because I actually like H2O, but is the Blu-ray like long out of print? Because I remember I tried to look for it, and with all the extra features and everything, and like it doesn't even exist anymore almost. Am I wrong on that?
I don't think it came out outside the box set.
Okay. We.
I'm got it on a 3-pack. That's what I have it on.
I'm gonna settle it right now. We're not gonna do either next week. We're gonna do what Borderline 11 wants to do, which is a Ruggiero Deodato retrospective.
I'm down for that.
I would rather do that.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, I'd rather do that too.
Let's see.
Go Deodato, yeah.
Everything goes bad.
Standalone H2O.
Everything goes bad for Lauren when the fans get a vote. That's true. So.
Okay, they're talking about Uwe Boll films in there. We can't trust these people, man. They're trying to. They're trying to kill themselves, man.
I mean, I'm good with either one.
Eli Roth retrospective.
Oh Jesus! I'm not.
Oh. Let's not get too nasty.
Let's not get too crazy now. Jeez.
Yeah. I'll pass on that.
I'll create a poll, and the two choices for next week's show will be an H2O live commentary. Even if you guys don't want it, it's 90 minutes and it's over, or maybe it's like 140 minutes. It's short.
H2O?
Yeah,
like 78 minutes or something.
Is it?
It's like 86. Actually.
Yeah, 82.
Okay. It's
short.
brief. It's brief. Or we'll do the Halloween recommendations, the deep cuts. So I'll leave it up to the audience, and you guys, if you want to vote on it too, go and vote on the poll. And we'll let the audience decide what we do on the show before Halloween, because I think what's the calendar looking like? Next week is what, the 24th? Oh, and then Halloween's
24th.
Actually, Halloween is on a Thursday, but we won't do a show on Halloween night because it's.
Yeah.
We could do something ironic and do Halloween recommendations over H2O. Like during the movie, we can just give our Halloween recommendations.
Well, if it goes like tonight,
Y'all brush up on your old school creed.
If it goes like tonight, we'll be talking about everything but the movie, pretty much. But okay, so yeah, why don't we do that? I'll post a poll. I'll put it somewhere and give everybody ample a week to vote, and then we'll do it that way. So. All right, so that does it. Halloween Resurrection live commentary, done in the can, and yeah,
That old Blu-ray.
there you go. All right. Well, again, full house tonight. A lot of people hanging out with us for this one. It's good to see Rambo again, or well, hear Rambo again. Always good to hear Rambo again. And I will say one thing to the audience. I did speak to a former member of the Sausage Factory today. And this is a member of the show that people have been wanting back for years. And I may have talked him into coming back for maybe a cameo at some point. So keep your fingers crossed. I won't say who. We'll keep that a secret. But
feel free to try to figure it out.
Yeah, we'll let you guys. You just have to pins and needles until that day comes. So. But big thanks to everybody who tuned in tonight. We appreciate it. It's been a lively chat the whole night. Let's see who's still with us. Steak Sauce is still here. Borderline 11 is still here. Josh O'Brien is still here. What's up, Josh? Steak Sauce, Max Punishment, Barbecue Network, Malek, Captain Halloween. What's up, Captain Halloween? David Vines, what's up? Myers and Voorhees, attorneys at law, are still here. Devin Dungan, what's up, Devin? DJ Mexicano DTX, what's up? So yeah, lively chat tonight. So yeah, thanks guys for tuning in. Appreciate it. Thanks to the panel, everybody, for stopping in tonight and hanging out and talking about Halloween Resurrection. Always a good time. We'll see you next week. Watch our social media. If you're not following us on social media, those links are in the description, Facebook and Twitter. That is where you'll find out about the poll where you can vote on what you want us to discuss next week. So until then, you guys have a great week, and we will see you again very, very